Heyo.
Just me and you today? I'm just kidding.
I would have wished. I would have wished, but here we are. I'm forced. I'm forced to have it where everyone. You can only get a bit of me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And again, you know why? Because you're the man. You're the king.
I'm the king. I am the king. All right. Hey everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. What? Okay, today, let's see if everyone joins on. Nina, hey, how's it going? Oh, little cutie. Yes, today we want to, or I want to, just go over sales, right? Because I know with some of you lot, okay, some of you lot have the advanced sales program, and that's great. So really what I want to do today is just give you my perspective of things, going through the script, right? Because Dave always says it, just follow the script. Follow, where is that on the script? Where is it? Okay, just follow the script, okay? And look, I don't mind people getting, it's not that you have to follow the script, but just that sometimes when you talk too much, you really ruin it for yourself. So, I don't want to get into it now. I'll answer everyone's questions first. At the end, after everyone has their questions answered, then I want to go into sales and help you lot understand how to conduct it properly. Yes, of course, you have the modules, follow that indeed. Again, I'm just going to give you my take on it and just really give you a flavor of even my own experiences and the blind spots that I had when going through it. When, again, all you lot say, hey, they gave this objection. What do I do about it? It's just like, again, it's not about dealing with the objection. It's about preventing the objection from ever happening in the first place. And trust me, it's happened to me. And when I started learning this stuff more, I was like, holy shit, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So I will do that at the end of the session after I answer everyone's questions, okay? For now, in the chat, post your wins, whatever you accomplished, whatever you've done, let me know, okay? I remind you again with your business update forms, if you haven't, for newcomers, okay? Put in the numbers. Let me know what's going on in your life. Update us in your form. So if you haven't, please do so, okay? Very, very, very important. Let's see. What are people saying? What are the wins? What are the wins? Let me expand that. That's all cool. Agree. King Kev. Yeah, King Kev. Ken, did you listen to that last call with Ed I had? No, not yet. That would have this week you're talking about, right? Yeah, no, because was it yesterday? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no. I usually look at it maybe a few days or a week after. So I'm always catching up with it, of course. But yeah. Like cool, like if that's the decision, I saw the post, so I know that you're moving. So that's cool. That's cool. Someone liked my page and I'm trying to message her, but it takes me to the meta. So I click there and nothing happens. If your wins, Jennifer, your wins. Where are your wins? Is that your win? Someone liked your page? Hey, if that's a win, then screw it. Fantastic win. When Ed helped me refine my audience, amazing. Nina had 2 sales calls, another one auto book for today. Nice, nice. George says, got my domain for ClickFunnels synced last night. Yes, let's go. Syncing all day long. Derek, publish my HPG and add on Facebook group. Funnel almost done. Great stuff. 7 leads from Michelle for the response. 1 book call. Okay, and then change last minute. No issues. All part of the process. There are always going to be no shows. Made the sale earlier this week. Fantastic, Jason. Oh my gosh, I would like to know how to pronounce that.
It's Marjorie Lynn was probably my name.
Yeah.
Marjorie Lynn.
Marjorie Lynn.
Yeah.
Oh, Marjorie Lynn.
Just Lynn on the end of Marjorie.
Marjorie.
That sometimes helps.
Marjorie. Oh my gosh, Marjorie, I think you're gonna hate me because I feel nervous already that I'm just
gonna. It's okay, people get it messed up. It's okay, you're fine.
Marjorie is easier for my brain. Okay, Marjorie, cool. Add approved, 2 calls booked. Nice. We'll have to leave a bit early for 1. Okay, cool. No issues. Again, Marjorie, you can definitely come back to this clinic to just observe the sales portion of the training at the end. Okay. These coming in every day. Fantastic. Jennifer, yes, a win, and someone booked the strategy session. Woo! Michelle, Ed helped refine more on the ops this morning. Fantastic. Have a book call for tomorrow. Great, Sandra. 22 downloads. Nice. Peter, come on. Where was your win, dude? You went off with the question, but where's your win? Come on, man. You're killing me here. You're killing me here. All right. What's your win, dude? Tell me your win. Where are you? Where are you? Where'd you go?
Hey, Kevin.
Yo.
How's it going? Sorry, mate. My camera's jammed as well. Let me just I'll try and sort that out. My wins, yeah, the wins were good. 7 book calls. So
that's sick. That's really good. That's really good.
That's enough.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, cool. I know that you're addressing the feedback as well. Again, I'm just gonna go through a little sales thing at the end. If you're able to stick around, and ask me questions on that. Yeah, I can definitely answer anything for you. We can go into questions. I think, yeah, we can go into questions now. Your question was your approach to closing strongly and finishing the call. Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to go through the entire thing at the end of the session, right? Because it's not about closing strongly. The whole freaking thing is how to close, like the whole thing. And this is what people are missing when they're saying they gave me the ejection at the end. It's no, you missed something early on in the call. So I'm going to go really into that, like really in depth, in the training at the end. Okay, and then you can really observe. If you can stay around, that'll be great. Of course, to ask your questions based on that. If not, you can catch it on the replay. Is that cool, Peter?
Yep, that's cool. That's cool.
Cool. Braden says his wins need to hit the follow-ups. Nice. And then launching your Facebook group. Oh, dude, but honestly, having another touch point, it's an amazing thing. It really, really is. Dawn, I didn't really have any this week. I guess I got Calendly set up. That's all I got. Yeah, look, sometimes it's not like that. That's still a win. It's a little progress, right? And it doesn't always have to be work related. It can also be personal. What's your personal win? A lot for me. Like any day that I can just make sure that I'm getting good quality sleep and feeling energized, I'm always winning, right? Because I do like it's not great when you wake up and you're just like, ugh, okay, and that's always a win. So just always appreciate. Okay, these are the wins. These are the wins. All right, let's get the questions. Cool. Dawn, question. I'm still trying to get the ad landing page set up. The template won't work. So Dawn, for this, you're going to have to post this in the group, okay? And tag in Laura and Yulia. They're your go-to people to help you with any troubleshooting on that. Is that cool? Wait, I don't even know. I would assume, yeah. Remember, any tech questions, please, everyone, always in the group. Irina, question. I'm making excuses not to call my leads. Is there something I can do to keep the momentum, get the right mindset? Cool. Why do you not want to call the leads? What's in your head? What's in your mind?
It's always discouraging when people obviously don't pick up or they hang up or like, and I understand it's part of the process, but it's still uncomfortable. So I'm naturally then moving away from it. So I have days when I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I know, this is necessary.
Yeah.
And other days when I'm like, make every excuse under the sun not to.
Okay, sure. So, again, let me ask this to you. When you call someone, what is your intention behind it all?
Yeah, so the intention is to, first of all, I want to just make sure that they actually got the guide. It's not in their spam folder. So to make sure they actually get the information and they have the information that they asked.
Oh, let me rephrase that a bit.
Yeah.
So not what is it that you're going to ask them, what you need to do. The bigger picture, the intention behind it all. Why get in touch with them? Why ask them about the guide? What's the intention in your mind?
Well, for me or for the client or for the for me, it's to make sure I get enough calls in and then to get enough clients. Yeah.
Cool. Right. So can you notice how that is more me? What's in it for me? Mm-hmm. I want to do this because I want this for me. Okay. So of course, when you come from that perspective of, okay, like I need calls and I need to get some sales calls in, then what happens is just, yes, there's an expectation that that's what you want. And as soon as you have an expectation of anything in the future based on a result you want and you don't get it, then resistance starts to build in when it doesn't go your way. which is perfectly normal, right?
Yeah.
So look, this is always the thing, right? Which is, where are you honing in with your intention, right? Where is your intention? In other words, I always say to people, look, the more you come into the space of you genuinely want to help people, just genuinely want to help them, and that's it. It's not about a sale. It's not about money. It's, I want to understand you, where your problem's at, and
Yeah.
genuinely, I want to see that you're okay. When you come from that perspective, every time, okay, like I went through it, so I completely understand you. It's completely normal. But the day I finally decide, you know what, this is not about selling, and this is about me truly understanding and listening and just wanting to help, then the pressure's off. And it always comes in, and I'll talk about this in the sales at the end, right? It's this thing of like, I don't really need you, right? But if you want help, I'm here for you. Okay. And that's a strong foundation, which bases on, I know I can help you. If you want my help, I'll help you. But I don't need you. Therefore, I'm just here to help. I used an example one time, and it's a really good example. When you're in someone's, if someone's standing next to you, okay, and then you get close to them, right? How do you think the person's going to feel when they're like, why is this person so close to me? How do you think that makes them feel?
Uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, right? How do you think you would feel as well doing it as well? Because if you're just like, let's see how close I can get to them. How would you feel?
It's uncomfortable for me too, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now, that's that situation. What happens if a person has fallen over and, they're struggling to get back up? You see them, maybe they hit their head, and you come into their personal space, right? What's the difference there?
Yeah, that's helpful. You're showing that you're caring.
Showing you're caring. You don't overthink the, I'm getting into your personal space. They don't overthink the, you're coming to my personal space. It's just, shit, you're here to help me, right? That is the same with your set of calls. The exact same principle. So always notice, am I doing these set of calls, again, for my own interest? And of course, that is then invading someone's space, as opposed to, hey, you're on the floor, let me help you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Thank you. That helps.
Yeah, really useful. Like really, again, all my sales calls, I noticed it. I was always itching for the sale. It's bad energy. It's really bad energy. Once you let go of that, you're like, you know what? Forget the sale. Let me listen to you. Let me actually see what you're going through. And let me see if I can help. Takes all the pressure off, and it makes sales so much easier. Everything. Resistance drops, so much easier. Cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Where was I? Jennifer, again, remember everyone, if you have a question, it's question, then ask the question, because otherwise I could skip it, okay? Jennifer, I have a strategy session today, and if I do skip any ones, please call me out, because sometimes I'm a nunce and I just go through it and I don't pay attention. Jennifer, I have a strategy session today. What if they ask me why my video is off? Again, it's just like, just because that's the process. Okay, like if you wanted to just be blunt, like that's just my process. Are you ready to go? Right? You could be blunt like that. If you want a nice reason, then it's just like, oh yeah, look, most of the times what I notice is that I actually prefer to really hone in on what you're saying, right? So I usually see that with video, there's distractions in the visuals. So I'm not even going to be looking at the screen. I'm just going to be here with my pen and paper, taking notes, and I would suggest that you do the same.
Okay, thank you.
If you want the nicer version.
Yeah, I was thinking of saying it's easier for us to focus on you if we're not distracted by
Really cool.
the visual. Okay, thanks, Kevin.
No problem. Susie, question. Not everyone answers when you call once when you call once downloaded, and some do not add a number. Feels a bit frustrating. 2 no-shows, which is also frustrating. Can't stay until the end, so we'll have to watch on catch up. Cool. So first question, not everyone answers when you call them. Yeah, that's normal. Again, this is why it's heavy follow-up. It's not just you call them and then you give up. It's you call them, video message, voice note, normal message, you call them again, video message, right? It's an intense, like, hey, I'm here. And again, it's personable.
It's intense.
Not hounding them, right? Not hounding them to book a call. Okay. It's more of a, hey, I've been trying to get in touch with you. Like, you're kind of worrying me now. Is everything okay? Right? Something as simple as that, for example, right?
Yeah,
Which
I've
is
been
just-
doing that. I always leave a voice message. I think the thing I find a little bit difficult at the moment is I can't call them straight away when I see it come in. Like today, I've been in meetings until half an hour ago, and now I've got this and then another client. So I kind of then I catch up, but then I'm worried they've kind of lost track of who I am, and
It's
so
okay.
they're
As
not
I said,
answering.
we try to do it within 3 days. As long as you do it within 3 days.
Oh yeah. Try and do it in 24 hours.
And it's
Okay.
again, it's just double dialing, maybe even triple dialing. You know, we say double dial,
Yeah.
but hey, like even the triple dial, because then someone calling you 3 times, it's really like, okay, someone's really trying to get in touch with me. Like, who is this person? And you want to pick up. So it's numbers as well.
You see,
right?
that's where that's the only issue I have a problem with. That was me. I would not want to pick up. So I have to get my head around the fact that people aren't me, because I would find that intrusive,
Yeah.
and that would piss me off massively. So, but I know that that's not everyone is me. So I've got to switch that mind. I've got to reframe that mindset, which I'm all right, which I'm okay with doing. But I think it's that, like you say, I was getting myself a little bit. I need to ring them straight away, and I can't. And then I'm thinking
Yeah.
maybe it's
Yeah,
because
totally
I'm
cool.
ringing them
Just
straight away.
when you can. But again, it's kind of the same thing I was saying to Irina, which is it's if you care, that's
Yeah.
why you're doing it. It's not the intention. Again, and the first questions when you ask them, it's not book a call. Hey, I have a call for
Yeah.
you. You can see the script. It's did you get the guide?
Yeah.
How did you find it? What issues you're going through? You're really trying to
Yeah.
listen, right? So as long as you go through that process, like totally cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And you said also no shows. Yes.
Yeah,
With
the
those
no
shows,
shows.
how many leads? How many calls have you gotten in so far?
I've had 4 so far. I've had 3 no shows. One did tell me, and I'm
Yep.
still in contact with him. So you never know.
Okay.
The other 2, just nothing. No
Cool.
response. Rung, text, emailed, and then the one I had, she was going to commit, and then she just said she couldn't afford it. But she's not written it off. She's going to come back to me at the end of the month.
Nice. Yeah. So with no shows, again, it is you want to assess this over a longer period of time, of course, but ultimately because no shows is a perfectly normal part of the process.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
You know, I would say, you know, probably like a third, like 1 out of 3. You know, like you don't want it more than that, basically. 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
But then otherwise, what you can do is again, you can call them up. Okay, like if you've been doing that, and again, it's just send the value, ensuring, ask them question. Are you going to show
Yeah.
up? Because again, you're
Yeah.
keeping to your word. Like, okay,
I did
cool.
and I did get 1 call booked off the back of ringing someone as soon as I just happened to be able to pick the phone up as soon as they downloaded it. She's booked in, so that's all good. So that's happened.
Nice.
I
Nice.
think it's just that the phone call side of it is just not me. It's just not what I do. I've got a hearing disability, so I don't like the phone.
Mm.
I really don't, but I'm getting over that. I'm just going to have to get on with it. So I do struggle with that a little bit, but you know, I pushed through, felt the fear and did it anyway. And I think as well, like you say, it's the change in the mindset, because you're doing it to help. But for me, because it feels really salesy, and I'm not a salesy person, and I've managed to get clients in the past, but doing it my way, I've got to just switch that mindset, and it's been hard.
Yeah, of course. Like,
and no shows just make me feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah. Again, but that's totally right, and at least you are aware of it. Again, it's our interpretation of it. It's salesy, but it's just like again, it's salesy because that's your intention behind everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not something I'm used to doing. I'm doing it. I'm having to follow someone else's method, which when you've been doing your own method for 2 years, you're just like, that's just so different. So you know, it's just tweaking it.
Yeah, for sure. Assess that no-show, and we see if it keeps up. But definitely always call them up. And there are things that you can do. But at this point, again, like I don't know how much time you have left, like in your day to day. It's just keep to the standard process right now. And we'll assess the no-shows. If it keeps on happening, then okay, we need to address it. Okay, don't again address it. If it keeps on happening after a week or 2, or you see, gosh, okay, I'm still at 50% no-show. It's a definite okay. We need to tackle that and build some things around the current system you have.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you.
No problem. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Rose, is that a question, Rose? I have a potential client I'm talking to on Facebook, need price and plan to offer her. Is that a question?
Well, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm
just a
it's
statement,
like whenever
just
I'm
like-
stuck.
Yeah, I need it. It's just like, oh, okay.
I just need it.
No, I've been
Yeah.
talking to a girl online, and she's on Facebook, and so she is in need of some assistance, with her program that she's already in. Right, she's in a school, and I could help her along in her school. She has like another 1,000 hours left in her program that she needs to complete, and then she'll do her state exam. My niche is really helping cosmetologists do like a boot camp for their state exam for New York State. She's in Illinois, so she's not even in my state, but she does. She is learning under a textbook that I've taught in for 15 years. So that's okay. You know what I mean? I could help her through the program. And she's my first one. So I don't know. And I haven't made a phone call to her. It's just, I put a little question.
Again,
Like you told me, you said, Kevin goes, you said, put a question, post a question. What's your challenge in the Facebook? And so this is the response I've gotten. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll take this one and see if I can run with her.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's you want to start, again, for you especially, you want to understand the problem, right? And that the only way you can do that is just having conversation. So same thing that I just said right now. Okay, what's your intention behind it? If you see the intention as actually, I just want to understand the problem. I don't care about the sale. I want to do some market research. I want to, again, understand you. Go into it, have that discussion, go into the DMs, right? Or on the phone call, sales call eventually, of course, and just go into that in-depth understanding of, okay, what are your problems? What do you need? Okay, why is it important to you? Et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, does that make sense? In terms of your pricing and plan, again, I always say, look, just assess from the call. You can go do a set thing, but honestly, from the call, you'll be able to tell how important this thing is to her. And depending on, again, it's this thing of you can in your offer, you can charge dependent on the reason why they need it. Okay, so a really good example of this is, for example, if people are saying like, oh, how can teaching languages, as an example, be a high ticket offer? Okay, languages, because a lot of people can do that, right? However, if your niche, if your offer was specifically, how do I help people, or I don't know, I'm just off the top of my head.
Cosmetologist.
Yeah, cosmetologists, business consultants, wherever it is, that niche.
Yeah.
I help those people who are migrating to a Spanish-speaking country, okay, learn Spanish. Then it's very different because who are migrating to a Spanish-speaking country for a career opportunity, and I help them speak the language. Okay, the cause of why they want it is very different. I don't want to just learn the language just because. I want it because actually it's what allows me to have a career opportunity to advance in myself. Okay, so it's a bigger thing of this isn't just a puny, I just want to learn a few lessons. This is I want an effective mechanism behind me learning a new language that allows me to excel in my career. Very different, very, very different. Okay, so when you're on this call, Rose, you're just listening. What are your motives behind this, right? Why do you really want this? Okay, you have to get the job. We get that. Yeah, but why? Why that job? Why not another job? Why is this so important to you? Why does it have to be that one? If you fail, can't you just get another job? Isn't that okay for you? Again, you're questioning these things, right? Because you're trying to understand where they're coming from, okay? And then dependent on the answer, yeah, that's basically how you charge. The bigger the pain, the bigger the thing that they want to achieve, the more you can charge, okay? Standard, 1,500 minimum, okay? That's the standard thing, obviously, that we have, okay? So no matter what, at minimum, 1,500. But if you're assessing from the situation, actually, you know what? This is a big ass thing. This is her world. This is her. She wants to set everything up, her business, whatever. Again, assessing her finances too, right? Because the more you also raise the financials, the more resistance there is. Okay, it's not because they can't. You can't sell them that. It always comes back down to are your sales skills on point, right? And that takes, again, refinement. Okay, it is again why we provide a high level of support for sales, because it is a constant refinement of understanding sales. Okay, but there's your kind of rough guide of understanding how to approach this right now. Make sense?
For how much time?
Your choice, your program. I genuinely say just enough time so that you know that they can achieve the result.
Okay, and then meet with her twice a week or once a week. Just say that's once a week.
Once a week is standard. Yeah, once
Okay.
a week, one session a week. Yeah.
And then you do it like maybe like on a Zoom call or something like that. Like I would set up a Zoom or
Go to a house every day.
in
Every
Illinois.
Yeah, call Zoom call. Yeah, yeah. That's it.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Awesome. Cool.
Thank you.
Raiden, what's a quick guys? Remember again, question, then the question. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot that. You actually answered my question whenever you were talking to Susie about the just people not showing up for calls.
Okay. Cool. So I can. You good on this question then? All good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I'm so cautious now because people are not putting questions. I'm like, is that a question? Lydia, at least she said hi, Kevin. So it makes me pay attention to it. Okay. My question is, I don't know how to approach people who has been on the call with me. They want to jump on the program, but for whatever reason, they can't on the moment of the call. They asked me to call them back in a couple of months when their situation is better, but I don't know how to start conversations. Got it. Yeah, just it's really just, hey, we had a we had a conversation on XYZ before 2 months ago, and I just wanted to check in to see how you were doing on that. Right, yeah, don't overthink it. Just like we had that conversation, I just want to see how you're doing on that, right? Because it's not like, again, you've agreed to it. That's the thing. You've agreed to 2 months later, you will get back in touch. So there isn't an intrusive thing at all. No, you've given permission. That was the agreement. So just, yeah, we had the discussion. How are you doing with that? Yeah.
I had this lady, and at the moment of the call, I felt sorry for her because she lost a family member like a couple of weeks ago or before the call, and she's like, oh, now it's not a good moment. Can you call me back in a couple of months and see? So for me, it's like I think that then in my head, she might not be like that, but in my head, it's like, how am I going to approach this? She might be mourning still or whatever. It might not be the case, no, because I don't even know what family member.
Yeah, we don't know, right? We don't know.
Not cousin or something, but yeah. So just like go back to the conversation and just ask them.
Of course.
Yeah, all right. Okay, thank you.
Impulse.
Simple. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Question 1. Are there any phrases to use to dig into the pain if the client is not going there? Should I answer this now?
How do we want to marinate the chicken breast to defrosted?
What? Jess? Was that us?
Oh, I thought it was on mute. I'm sorry. I thought I was on mute. Sorry.
Jess's input.
I'm cooking while I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Just, have a chicken breast. That's how. That's the answer. Just have a chicken breast. Yeah.
That's perfect. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Jess. Awesome.
Go. Should I answer this now or later? Again, with sales, this is not. I'll answer number one. And I'm not an impulse buy. That's not. Again, that's irrelevant. That's not the objection, right? That's not really it. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Again, like, I'll answer this now. Okay.
It's the same person. I think that's why it's kind of connected, the two. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So look, question number 1: are there any phrases to use to dig into the pain of the client is not going there? This is the thing, right? To see if the client is not going there. Again, if you're really going into it, like, you can just call them out and be like, look, we're on this call.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to understand where you're at, where you're really having a challenge or the problem is. But at this moment, yeah, you're saying this and that to me, but it doesn't seem that this is that big of an issue for you. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. But at the moment, you're giving me the impression that this is not a big deal, or what's going on, right? You can call it out of like, look, either you really tell me what's going on, or like cancel the call. Okay, because again, always understand it needs to be a good fit. So if someone I've done that. I have literally, someone's told me, I go into the pain, I'm like, I'm not feeling it. Again, you need to be convinced that this is a person that actually needs the help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're not giving it to you, then that's it. So don't like, you call it out. Okay. So that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I'm not an impulse buyer. That is not the actual objection. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I don't like getting into committed relationship. But fucking hell, on the first date when I finally see this woman and it's like the dream girl, love of my life, kind of like quality kind of woman. Yeah, but I'm not, you know what? Let me think about that one. You know, doesn't make sense. Okay. So again, it's not about the impulse buyer. This will go back into the training that we're going to go at the end of the session. The whole freaking thing is an objection handle. Okay. This is what people don't get. They think the end is the objection handle. No, it's not. The whole freaking thing is assessing where they're at. Right. Yeah. So that's the answer for number two. You'll understand obviously as we go through it. And then number three, how to get client over the line when they say they need to look at their finances. Did you look at their finances with them?
No, so she literally just cut it. She did mention, I've asked her specifically, you know, are you working at the moment? Because she did mention like, oh, I had health issues, so I had to like go off work. So I asked her specifically, and she said actually she's been off work for almost a year. So, you know, when we got to the temperature check, she still gave me 9 out of 10. But then when I dropped the price, she was like, I need to look into my finance.
Okay, cool. So that is, you know, the objection handling framework, right? Have you been through that? And just, again, it's just clarifying. Okay. So, so let me just clarify, right? So this is something that you're ready to move ahead with, and you would like to move ahead with, but it's just the money that you have to really check. Yeah. And then again, tied into the process. Yes.
That's what I did.
Then freaking ask her how much she has in the bank.
Okay.
Literally ask her.
I just didn't feel comfortable about it because I just know that she's not, you know, working. So it's just. So
it's a thing of look again, like for me to best help you, I understand right now your financial situation and you're not working and you haven't worked for a year. But you know, at the very worst case scenario, I'd like to form a financial game plan with you so that at least, you know, worst case scenario, in the future, we could actually work together. How does that sound for you? Oh, it sounds, that's cool. Okay, cool. So are you okay if we can openly discuss your finances so I can best support you and help you on this?
Right.
Permission. Okay. Bang. Okay. Right. So how much do you actually have in cash? Okay. Right. How much do you have in savings? Cool. How much do you have in credit? Cool. How much do you have in investments? Cool. Right. How much do you, if any, incomings, if any, do you receive cash anywhere else? Again, she might, I don't have a job, right? But my mom gives me, you know, 100 a month. Right, just because like that's our deal because I'm not working. We don't know, right? We don't know. So it's just again, it's just a question. Don't look at it as like, oh, I'm being very, very intrusive. Okay, it's just like it's no, I'm here to help you. And the way I'm going to help you is we need clarity on your finances. Yeah, is that cool?
Got it. Yeah. No, that's absolutely cool. Yeah, thanks.
No problem. And then as I say, for question two, we'll cover it at the end, and we'll. Again, the whole thing's an objection handling framework, right? It really,
mentioned that he's going on a call with 2 other people, so he was evidently shopping.
Yeah, exactly. And again, but it's a thing of like that's okay because that's again, I always like it to compare it with dating. Okay, that's what dating is. You're shopping around, right? But if you find that girl or that man where you're like, fuck me, I had so much fun. He ticked all the right boxes.
Yeah.
Do I really need to go seeing other people?
Yeah.
No. Right. So again, it's the thing of objection handling, but as well, did you align the solution to his problem? Did he feel understood at the highest level? These are the things that really go into it, because otherwise, he doesn't need to shop. He's just like, no, like this is it. Like this is exactly what I've been looking for.
Yeah. Got it. Thanks.
Okay, George. When they end the call, guys, what like all. So many people not question at the beginning. I have to guess. What has happened? Hey, George. When they end the call and ask that I send them an email with an overview of all we discussed so they can look at their finances. Okay, this recent case says she was feeling stressed that she had someone else waiting for her. As in...
She just basically was like, sorry to interrupt you. I just feel a little stressed right now because I have someone who's waiting for me. Like she had another meeting to go to where she was. And she basically, I guess, didn't anticipate we would need as much time as we did. We were on a call for about 40 minutes at that point. And, you know, she wanted to schedule on she did originate and ask after she said, do you have something or something that I can look at everything that, you know, we discussed, and I want to check that over. And also I do need to like, just look at my finances, and then she said, well, could we set up like an audition tomorrow? Like, you know, or something like that. I'll be back, you know, she's doing business in Puerto Rico and she'll be back in Ohio tomorrow. And I said, yeah, that would be wise. We can do that. And then she was excited about the prospect of that. So it's most likely that's going to happen. But I've had situations like that where then you send the email and they go, you know, I looked at my finances and yeah, I don't know. And then you got to deal with the objection through the email. So I guess my question is, like, how the hell in a situation like that do you avoid, like, I hate when they're like, hey, can you just send me an email saying everything we discussed? Like, I want them to do a deposit right then and there and like it'd be a close and be done. I don't want to have to like,
yeah. For sure.
I've had people that have ended up signing up after sending them an email, like, and I'm usually surprised when that happens, though, like, and happy, you know. But
yeah.
So it's like I never know, but I just never feel like it's
of course, it's not the best process. So it's really simple. It's just, you know, one, if you know that, you know, you're caught on time, right, and they mention this to you, then it's just like, okay, so I think the best thing that you know we should do is actually, you know, schedule another call. Okay, so rather than her say demand that, okay, can you send me the email? You're like, again, okay, yeah, no, I totally appreciate you have to go off and like, you know, totally do that. So what I actually find as best practice is that I actually follow up with another session. So we can book another session together to continue this discussion, and then we can start diving into understanding how to really sort out those finances for you and how to make this fit and work for you. Yeah. So
yeah, I think I'll just send her an audition. I'll send her an email scheduling the audition with the material that she's going to look at, and just tell her we'll delve further into the breakdown of the finances tomorrow, so I can help you best find a way to make this work for you.
Yeah. Definitely. Just again, it's just like prevention is always better, right, than having to deal with it. But at the time, again, it's always don't let your prospects take control of the call. Okay. Yeah. When they say things, again, this is your show. No, that's not how this works. Okay, like my process, this is how things need to be played out. Again, it's always taking control and ownership over that call. You are the leader in that call. Therefore, when they demand something that, oh, can you do this or this, that, it's like you have to understand, one, where that's coming from. Okay, again, if it's an objection, okay, this was an objection, it's I need to go, so that's fine. But then it's you demand what your process is, and so you say, okay, that's not how I do things. I actually set up a session so we can actually, you know, have a proper discussion on this, so that we can best find a solution for you. Okay, let's book in a session and then we can discuss then. Is that cool? Yes, that's cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Question. My first question. Someone put question. Hey, Dawn. Question: do you feel it's better to have the phone number required in the form or not required? Have you tested both? I would. So at the beginning, optional, because you just want to lower the barrier to entry. Okay, so you want people to just download the guide so that you know that your thing works. But if it's working and you know it's you're seeing that leads are trickling through, then just put it as mandatory. And again, you can expect it to the lead cost to go up a bit. Okay, because again, you're demanding a number, but at the same time, again, that's not a bad thing, because again, it means that the person is just more open, has more focused on, hey, this is the problem, and I just want to solve it. Okay, so yes, if lead flow is fine for you and you're happy with the lead cost, just put in the mandatory numbers. Cool.
Got it.
Okay, Rose, question: I have a potential client I'm talking to on Facebook. Need price. Wait, what's that? Did I answer this already? I answered. Rose, right?
Yeah. But how would I collect the money? Like, I know that's just like a technical kind of question. It's not really like a, you know, like I have Square. Like, how would I go on there and she's like, yeah, I want to buy. Okay, well, where am I going to collect the money from her?
Yeah. So again, you if it's Square, if you got Square, that's cool, and you want to use that. You know, we say we use Stripe. But Square's fine
Stripe.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you just collect their details of like long card number and you input on your side. Okay, cool. So can I have your long card?
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Simple.
Cool. Question from God damn it, you're gonna hate me. Wait, let me do it. Marjolin. Fuck. Where'd she go? Did she leave? Oh, I saved myself. She's not here.
Had to go.
Go. Question: making the phone option the opt-in method. What's up? Literally just answered. Cool. Jill, question. Some people were not able to download the HVG. It is in a Google Drive and it is said file does not exist. I refreshed the link in the first email on the active account and it's working again. Anyone else experience it? Huh. That's really weird.
Make sure
Again,
it's not protected. She needs to make sure it's not protected because if they have the link, it happened to me too.
Yeah, so but this is
unrestricted to anyone who has the link, so that should work, shouldn't it?
Yes, if they have anyone who has a link, it shouldn't be restricted.
Yeah, it just actually came up because when I phoned someone to follow up, they said, "Oh, I couldn't get in," and they sent me a screenshot, and it said, "This document does not exist."
Have you tested this with someone else? So not on your computer, not your email, just I don't know, family, friend.
I'll do that.
Just test it and see what they see, right? Because sometimes it's different because you have access to you have access rights because it's your own thing. So when you try to open it and test it on your own account, then it opens fine. It's happened to me, like even in actual my program course, when someone's like, "Yeah, Kev, it's not opening." I was like, "But it's opening fine for me." And then I realized, oh right, like it's kind of what Teresita was saying. It's just access to everyone else. Okay, so just double check with someone else.
Okay, and if I do it on if someone else does it and they can't get in, what did you ask Laura? Ask Laura, Leila. Yeah. I was really kind of freaked out when the person said, because I thought, oh my goodness, there's been like out to 40 people, but people have been able to open it because I've spoken to people.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so it's just double check it again. It could just. It's weird. It's weird. Sometimes tech can be weird. Yeah, and I have actually had that experience with a different software. But again, it like I was really confused, and at some point it wasn't working on my phone. But then it was again. I always just check with other people. Can you get it? Yeah, you got it. So I tried it again with my phone. It still wasn't working with my phone. I'm like, again, sometimes tech just literally glitches for the one person or the few individuals. So as long as the majority obviously are getting it. Totally
hopefully it's just that. Thank you, Teresita too.
Sure. Question. Dawn, if they say the price is too expensive, how much do you drop the price? Oh, that should not be the question. That should not be the question here. I'll answer for everyone either way because it's important to know that this is look, if you're just getting started, right, and you're just looking to cash, put cash in the bank, then again, assess where they're at. It's not how much do I drop the price. That's not the actual question. It's, meet them where they're at in terms of their finances, evaluate that, and just, okay, this is how much you got. Cool. Let's do it for this much then, right? You'll find that ultimately what you can do is that because of that very reason, you don't have to drop your price. How so? You see how much cash they have up front, okay? Let's say it was, let's make maths easy, and it was $2,000. Okay, your thing was $2,000, and you see that okay, they have 500 on them right now, right? But they don't have enough to make it 500, 500, 500, 500, like 4 payments. They don't. Okay. So it's just like, okay, you know what? Let's do this. 500, cool. And how about we split it up, and I can once again break down all the finances, know exactly where they're at. You'll know exactly what's coming in and out of their bank every single month, and they tell you it's 300. And again, it's just like, okay, we'll do monthly 300 for whatever that is. What's that? Like 5 months, So it's not dropping the price. It's just simply, okay, you're gonna have to extend the payment plan. Okay. And again, if you do a good job, and they get the result, they're gonna continue paying you. Okay. But that's if, of course, you're just trying to get them in. And again, it's like, especially if you see it's a great fit, if you see this person's like really your client, they really want to join, then there's really no harm of you doing that. But again, as you especially when it comes to scaling and growing a business, getting as much cash up front is the most important thing, because obviously at that point as well, you have employees, you have people to pay. right? You have ads to spend on, even more so. So
Yeah.
all this starts to play
Yeah.
in. So at the beginning, absolutely fine. You know, again, if you're literally strapped for cash, like, nope, yeah, let's come in, get you the result. At least you have that trickle of cash afterwards. If not, and again, you do have employees, and then you have to really start setting the boundaries. And it is a case of when you have so many leads, so many calls, and so many people to select from, then of course you can be more selective. You can be more like, no, it's fine because I got all these other people that can come in now instead. So yeah,
Right.
does that make sense?
It makes sense. So what I'm hearing you say is that it's better to get a deposit of any kind. I mean, obviously the larger the better. But let's say somebody's only doing a 3-month program and they need to spread their payments out over longer than the program is. How does that work?
Yeah, again, as I said, you need to see it's a really good fit. As in, they're committed. You see how serious they are. You see that actually I could really work together with you very well. And that's your choice. Again, it's like I like you essentially. I genuinely like you.
Yeah.
Right. Let's work together. And yes, the payments are going to extend over the months. It's not the ideal thing. It's not, right? But again, it always depends on the situation. It's your business at the end of the day. You do what you want, but always, always, always as much cash up front. Always.
Yeah.
That's number one rule out of everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
And I suppose they may want to continue working with you beyond that 3 months if you do a really good job. So.
Yeah, of course. Although, again, payments, if they're spread out like that, it's just like, no, they need to finish that payment. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah. Right. And, you know, you can have that discussion. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, when you're breaking down the finances, it is a case, again, of like, okay, you can have 500 now, but help them form the plan. Okay. So you have 500, you have 300 that, you know, that are coming in every single month. How, you know, right now, we can't get this within the 3-month payment plan or 4 month or whatever, 3 month, 4 month, whatever it is,
Right.
payment process that I have. How can we make this work? Okay, you put it back onto them of just seeing where their mind thinks. Because the one thing I always say to everyone in sales, and I mentioned it in the training as well, do not tell them what to do. Okay, ask questions to get them to get to an answer, to a conclusion of, well, I don't know, I don't have any more money, and that's all I have. Yeah, I know that's all you have right now. But is there a possible way that, well, firstly, again, I always go with this. But firstly, look, is this something that you truly want? Do you really want to do this? No, yes, it is. It's the perfect process. I really want to get rid of this. Okay, cool. So, you know, is there a way that we can be more resourceful so that we can make this work? Like, you tell me. And again, it's just their minds will start to tick of like, well, I guess I can ask my mom. I guess I can do this. And again, you're just helping them in that to like, okay, so let's do that then. And again, enroll them. If that was the case, I'm like, enroll them. The agreement is $300 payments afterwards, but then it's just like in the plan, it's like, okay, so you just need $200 every single month after. Can someone else help you with that? Okay, amazing. And then she has the complete 500 as part of your payment plans. Okay, so it's a very bespoke, help them out, take care of the finances. Okay, so I hope everyone's like learning from this, because that's basically what you want to do. Where it's just like, no, it's not just, oh, well, they don't have the money, and let them go. It's okay. So how can we get them in? How can we get them in? Let's figure it out together. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the word resourceful. Let's be resourceful together. That's very positive spin on it. That was really helpful. Thank you.
Be careful again. It's not let's be resourceful. Remember, when you're talking to them, I just want to double check. Okay, is there a way that we can be more resourceful so that we can get this to work? Right? It's a question.
Yeah.
It's a question. Right? Again, do not do statements. I've heard some horrible things, like literally, complaints about people saying that salesperson saying they're telling me to sell my car, blah 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 blah, and it's just like, don't tell people what to do.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but don't tell people what to do. Right? It's just, hey, like, if you really want this, how can we be more resourceful? Right? But what is it? Yeah, and then expand your minds. Like, yeah, is there? And maybe they ask you what you mean. Yeah, like, is there, is there a place where you can maybe borrow the money, or maybe again just find another financial resource for yourself? I don't know, you tell me. Okay, so again, it's a very laid back, you tell me, right? Rather than me, hey, you can get a loan, sell your car, do this, do that.
Yeah, got it. Open-ended questions so they come up with the solution.
It's much better, much better, because otherwise they feel the pressure that you are trying to sell them, and that's not the case. You're not. You're trying to help them in wiggle their way through their own mindset. Like, I don't have the money. It's just like, no. Let's work this out together. Cool.
Yeah. Cool. I've got one more question further down the line, but I'm going to have to leave in about 5 minutes. So I'll listen to the rest of the replay.
Go. Okay.
Thanks.
Oh yeah. Question. Do I need a landing page or web page for the funnel? Yes. Oh yeah. Go through the program. Download our funnel, and that's your landing page. That's your funnel to so they can download the guide.
Yeah, Teresita already answered me. Thank you, Kevin. I was not sure if it was one or the other one or the two of them. That was it. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, the funnel's in there. Yeah. Okay. Question. Question from Dawn, which was, do you recommend one domain company over another? And if I need more help setting that up, should I request Loom help right away? One domain company. It's not that we recommend. We recommend GoDaddy because ultimately all our trainings are in line with that. So it just makes it easier. You follow the exact videos that we have. That's the only advantage. Otherwise, yeah, no, totally fine if you have another domain company.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. It's just all up in my business today. I can't.
Go. Okay, let's see. Question from Rose. How should I collect money from this one client to get started? I use Square. Am I going mad? Yeah, Rose is Rose.
I didn't rewrite that, so I don't know where you're getting that from. Maybe you're going backwards. I don't know. I do have a question. I do have a question though. I just talked to a marketer and he said that the Kajabi is like a web thing. So why would you need GoDaddy? Would you just use Kajabi?
So GoDaddy is to get your domain name, so the URL, right? So your website.
Just to get the name. Okay, I went through Google. Okay, and then I could just use the Kajabi as
exactly. Kajabi we use for the course that they go through. Okay.
Yeah.
Is what we use to actually get the funnels so that you can run your ads through it.
Okay.
Okay. So you will use ClickFunnels before you use Kajabi.
So when a person looks me up, they would actually see the ClickFunnels. They wouldn't really see the Kajabi as my base.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Getting it. I'm getting it.
You're getting it.
Okay, I'm working on it.
Okay. Question. Could you offer a shortened version of the program at a lower amount? So you could, however, I mean, you'd have to be really strapped for cash to be doing that. This is the thing, right? It's dishonest, or it's dishonest in the way that you have literally said, this is my solution, this is what you need. And then just because of cash, you say, okay, well, we can just give you this lower thing that doesn't actually fall in line with what you told me to get you the result. So it's a bit of a, I don't necessarily like it, but again, as long as you're honest in that and saying, hey, like, I can't promise you you're going to get the result, you will improve, then that's okay. You just have to have that framing around it, okay? Which is, again, this is what I recommend. This is what I recommend. However, again, as I kind of explained with the financing, it should never really be a problem, okay? Like, it's always like you have to expand their mind to get them into the main program, as opposed to, I'm just going to make it really cheap. And again, it is a qualifying process as well, because honestly, they can't, like, if it's just, whatever, $400, $500 they can afford, then for me as well, they shouldn't really be there. They shouldn't have come through, to be with you in that moment in time. That's after, when you can start qualifying them. But ultimately, can you do it? Yes. Is it like a recommended way of doing things? No. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Nancy? Cool. Question. When you get 9-10 on TempCheck, is that good, or should I push for 10-10? Even though when I ask what I am missing to get you to a 10, they say nothing. It's good. Yeah, I 9 out of 10 is good. I'll still push it. I'll still push it for sure. So it's just like, okay, 9 out of 10. Oh, like, you know, that's great. So why is this not a 10 out of 10 for you? All right, what's missing? Right, and whatever they say to you, nothing. So again, and then you question it. Well, no, I can't really think of anything. Right. So if you can't think of anything, why is this a 9 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10? There must be something missing. So again, I want to be very strong, and I just want to make sure that before I continue, there is nothing missing. I'm like, are you sure? Because then why is this not a 10 out of 10 for you if there is truly nothing missing? You know, that doesn't make sense to me. So just pushing on it, right? But 9 out of 10, look, it's good. Sometimes people say like, oh yeah, it's just the trust thing. It's just, I don't know if it's going to work for me. And again, then it's just like, again, I would push it. Okay, I'm going to go into this, but I'd push that in terms of, well, you know, again, let's say if it was myself, because I've gotten the result for myself in my own life, right? I have clients that got the result for themselves. So you know that this process works. You've agreed that it's 100% what you need. You're seeing my client testimonials, and you know that I've actually been through this myself and gotten the result. So you're still saying it's 9 out of 10. I think I'm missing something, because does that sound, you know, logical to you? Does that sound, you know, yeah, well, again, what's going on, right? And you're literally going for this. So you're pushing it always of like, why is it this number? Like, why is it this number? Okay. And that's it. So just be sure of like eliminating the doubt, right? You need to get into more of a, you know what, you're right. Like, you know, like, and again, I could frame it that way. I could frame it also, again, just question of like, look, okay, so you're a 9 out of 10. Okay, so you've agreed with the process. Is that right? Yes. Okay. You've seen other people, my clients, you know, achieve the result. Is that right? Yes. Okay, I've achieved the result, right? Do you trust me when I can say that I can help you? Yes. Right? Or no. Yeah? Or no. So it's always just you're just trying to see what is it? What like seriously, what is it that is that they have doubts? Because I would prefer them to be a 10 out of 10. I would prefer them to get to that point, be super excited and be like, Kev or Nina, like, yes, like I am in this, fuck, like I'm like you again, you hear the emotion behind people when they're like, oh my gosh, like yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I personally would stick there, and I would just question a lot of things.
When you say, thanks, Kevin. When you mentioned, you know, they see the results in the testimonials and stuff, because it's a closer call, they haven't really been exposed to testimonials and stuff, really. So
this is when you have your content, right? So in your HVG, if you have testimonials, in your email that you send to them, okay, they can see testimonials. You know, if you have a webinar, right, you see testimonials. Okay, so that's where they come from. Okay, and so you're saying, look, so other people have achieved the result, right? I've achieved the result. Okay, so, you know, again, it always comes into the, you know, so what's missing? Or again, what do you need that will allow me, right, to make you feel that this is definitely a 10 out of 10?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's always questions. This is why I always say to them, ask the question, not statements, right? Don't, because some people try to combat it and be like, yeah, I had the best thing ever, and oh my gosh, but I've done this and I've done that, and my program's amazing, I've been doing this for 10 years, and they talk, and you're bombarding the mind with more things that they're not actually worried about. Again, they are the ones that need to convince themselves that this will work for them. So the more you try and talk to them and convince them of it, the less they're going to actually compute that. They need to compute the block themselves. So it is, you know, it's a very good one of again, like, you know, do you believe that I can help you with this, right? Again, like, it's like, or not, you know, again, it's like, do you believe that this is for you? Do you believe, you know, that this is exactly what you need, right? And again, even that, do you believe this is exactly what you need? Yes. Okay, so if it is, then why are we still at 9 out of 10? Something must be missing here, right? What again? And then it's just, the final thing is always going to be something like, what do you need from me, right? To make you feel that this is a 10 out of 10, right? That would be the last one. Okay, if you've gone through everything, right? Again, it's just because otherwise there's always going to be that little thing. And when you mention the price, it's just, Like, again, I'm going to go into a lot of this because this shouldn't happen. Okay. I'm going to go into the sales thing so you can see the whole thing is an objection handling piece. Okay. And so they're going to be more primed to be like, yes, 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 yes. Cool. Nice. Cool. Question. What is temp check? I'll cover it actually when we go through the training. Okay. So Paul, it's part of the sales script. So when you get there, you'll see exactly what that is. Right. Okay. Got it. All right. Cool. Clinic done. No more questions because I'm going to start. I'm going to start the training. Any questions? No? No? Okay. Cool. All right. Let me get my PowerPoint because I like a good PowerPoint. Right. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So, sales. Okay. Sales. This is the big thing. Okay. How do you conduct sales calls in the most effective manner? Really, what I want to cover with you lot today is, look, this is honestly it's a mindset shift of how you want to approach sales. Because what is sales? Okay. Some people say, hey, sales is about, trying to persuade someone, right, to join your program. But actually, the best way to view sales is this. You are trying to find out any red flags to disqualify them. Okay, this is big. This is big. Okay, have this mindset shift right now when you're thinking about sales and what you're trying to do. You are literally trying to give yourself any reason to say, no, this is not a good fit for you. Okay, that's what we're trying to achieve in the sales call, right? No, this is not a good fit for you. You're trying to find those red flags. You're trying to see what's wrong, right? That's really it. You are trying to see what is wrong and why they shouldn't join you. Okay, don't forget, it is this thing that when you're in the sales call, you are there to ensure that it's a good fit both ways. Both ways. So it is your job to go on there and find out, is this right for you? Right? So you're looking for everything, again, that is wrong, everything that you can use to disqualify and saying, sorry, this is not for you. It doesn't matter if it's about time, if it's about effort, if it's about, well, yeah, even finances. But again, at the end, I'll explain that, look, it's not, finances is not a thing. It's not. There's only one objection, okay? There's only one objection. Remember this. Only one objection. I mentioned this yesterday. They are uncertain. That's it. One. They can say many things. Doesn't matter what it is. They can give you the money objection, okay? That's not the real objection. They are just uncertain, okay? Because it's either they are uncertain, right? And if you get past that, it's just logistics. It literally becomes a case of, okay, so how can we make this work? If they don't have the cash on hand, then how can we make this work? Which I actually explained earlier on in the session. Okay, so today, what I want to do is I'm going to go through the whole closer framework. Okay, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to just go into these questions and we're going to pick it apart. So you understand, again, the psychology behind what we're trying to do. And I'll also incorporate some of my own experiences so that you understand. Right, even then, when I was doing it, I got to the end, I'm like, oh, they didn't buy. And they said this was the objection. When again, what I wasn't actually focused on is, right, at that point in the call, the red flag. That was the big red flag that I didn't see. And therefore, of course, when I then do it at the end, I'm trying to rebuttal what they're saying. And that's not where it needs to be done. It has to be done beforehand. So this is how it's going to go. I'm going to go through the closer process. I'm going to ensure that I go for every piece. So, it's closer, CLOS, so clarify, link, all this. I'll go through it in stages. And then after each stage, I'll go back for questions so that we can interact and you can ask questions on what I'm covering. Okay. So let me share the closer process. Actually, before I do that, any questions? Derek, Kevin, I enjoyed today. Nice man, got fresh stage. I have not yet launched my ad to get sales, which will spare me on. Fortunately, I need to drop off because of another commitment and we'll be sure listening to the recording. No issues. Paul, how to make myself do the task and completing on each module. Yes, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Paul. Yeah, did you do the HVG? Oh no, so did you do the module? Sorry, the one module that we said.
I started the tech module, and I then went to the completing the content, the compelling content thing, and I got deep into that. I spent 6 or 7 hours last night. I'll almost certainly do the same tonight. Just wanted to check in and say that. Don't want to take anybody's time right now. Nice. You're just amazing. Like you ain't mini me and you ain't mini Ed, but you're.
That's cool.
But, thanks and thanks for everybody. Great. I'm amazed at how relevant I find every exchange, and I'm so grateful that some of the further along stuff is going to be easier for me because of my lifetime experience. Not realizing I was in sales when I was in sales, but we'll see if it really will be easier when I get there. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and thank you, Kevin.
But no, like great job on actually getting it going. Okay, so just keep it up, Paul. Keep it up. Keep us updated in the group. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. So let me share the closer process, and then we can review. Here we go. Cool. All right. Okay. So of course, all you lot have this. And let's just get to the beginning. Okay, so look, very beginning, really simple, just welcome. I'm not going to go over this because it should be really, again, just keep it short and sweet, people. Keep it short and sweet, like really just get into the call, right? The important thing that we need to cover is, yes, let's go through the first part, okay? So the first part of this is clarify, right? We're trying to understand the problem from the get-go, okay? So clarify. So let's go lower down so that we can see there we go. Okay. So again, what is your biggest problem right now? Okay, so what's your biggest problem? What's the challenge, okay, right now? And we need to like really hone into what we're trying to achieve here, because this is the mistake that a lot of people make, right? I even listened to it in the advanced sales program, okay? Where people, what you're doing is that, yeah, you're asking questions, but you're asking questions to understand the impact of the problem. Understand this, the impact of the problem, okay? Not understand why the problem exists. Very, very different. So people will go into it, and there's an example of like, whatever, let's say if someone was going through imposter syndrome, okay? And then they start, saying that they also have maybe low confidence or I don't know what. And then they start saying, yeah, like my mom used to, treat me this way before. And then someone may ask, oh, and how does that feel that your mom treated you that way? Okay. Because again, it's a great coaching question when you're trying to help someone through it, but it does nothing to help you understand the impact of the problem. The fact that they went through a relationship with their mother and it was crap, and the mother, I don't know, whatever, like just mistreated them verbally, is irrelevant to the problem today at hand. Okay, so what we're trying to always find out is, how is the problem impacting you today? So even in Dave in the sales calls, he's reviewing people. I think he's even like Teresita's call. Teresita had like a very interesting individual that, was talking about all this stuff about the business that they do. And again, like Dave was just like, okay, fascinating, but I don't care. I don't care about your life outside of the problem. I don't care about the business. I don't care how you came to develop imposter syndrome or anxiety, depression. I don't care how, these outer things are not relevant to, again, the impact of the problem, okay? So every single time you have to understand that. It's really important, because too many people make this mistake of, they want to understand things that are not relevant. All you're trying to understand is, how does the problem impact you today in the now, okay? So that's really it. That's the key takeaway on this one, okay? So what's this? So the problem is, again, you want to clarify the problem. Okay, and you want to dig deeper, and it's always layers. Okay, there's always onions. So the first part is relatively easy, because again, you're just trying to pinpoint that problem. Okay, but pinpointing the problem does not mean you pinpoint the pain. Pain and problem are different. Pain and problem are different. Okay. You can have a problem. Yes, I have anxiety. Yes, my business is going down. Yes, all this stuff, right? But again, that's the problem. Okay. But where's the real pain? That's where we really want to get to. We want to really, again, we're rubbing salt in the wound, right? That's literally what we're doing. So again, you're finding out the general, what's the problem? These are beautiful questions. Okay. So, you know, what's the challenge again? Okay. What's the problem? Okay. That's what we're doing. What does that mean specifically to you? Sometimes, again, they'll say things. Again, a very good example. Yeah, I feel just overwhelmed. Okay, I feel overwhelmed. Okay, overwhelmed. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that specifically? Okay, because overwhelmed to a person can be, you know, different things. You know, overwhelmed could be, oh, it's just, you know, I find myself just, you know, so overwhelmed that I sit down on my desk and do absolutely nothing all day, right? Overwhelmed for another person could be, no, like I'm literally like sweating and I just having these bad, you know, heart palpitations. It's just getting all too much. Again, and we're understanding the layers of the problem, what's actually happening. Okay, so it's a beautiful question. What does that specifically mean to you? Okay, and you keep on peeling back those layers to understand the situation. So just because someone says they're overwhelmed doesn't mean, okay, well, you know, they're overwhelmed. I got it. Move on to the next question. It's understand the impact tangibly, specifically. What's the situation? Okay. When we keep on going through, yeah, of course. Again, you're peeling layers. Tell me more about this. What do you mean specifically? Again, it's like they'll say things, but it's not good enough that they just simply say and you just take it and you move on. It's they say things and you want to, again, just deep dive. Okay, but what does that really mean though? Right? What does that really mean? You know, again, someone could say, I just feel stuck in life. You don't move on from I feel stuck in life. You feel, okay, well, what do you really mean by that? Oh yeah, it's just, I've been going through this for a lot of years right now. And, you know, it's just been the same pattern of like, you know, I just can't move forward. I just, you know, every single time in my relationship, like it's always like eating at me. And yeah, I can't move forward. Right. And then someone again, they'll be like, oh, okay, that's fine. I can't move forward. No, I still don't understand. What do you mean by that? What do you mean when you say it's eating at you and you can't move forward? Yeah. So layers, because we're not, that's not good enough. I don't understand what that really means. Okay. Oh, it means that, again, I don't know what else they would say. Like, oh, it's just, I don't know. I'm just in bed every day, just thinking about it. And it's just crap. The whole situation is crap. I don't like it. Like it's a relationship that I think that sometimes I want to be in it, sometimes I don't. And it just makes me feel awful inside, like every freaking day. I'm waking up in the morning just, I don't know, Jesus, it sucks. I want it to stop. We have a more tangible picture now. Okay. They mentioned that they're in the bed. They mentioned that they're thinking about this all morning, that they're just like, again, you see, layers, right? So it's really, really important when you go into the problem that you're deepening the pain. You're getting a better picture of where they're at. Okay. How long have you had the problem? That's a basic question. Yeah. 10 years. 10 years. Wait. So you've been going through this for 10 years. Again, emphasis, right? Because someone just reads the script. Someone just you need to be in it. And again, they need to understand that you're listening. Okay. Again, beautiful question. I love this question. How has that made you feel? Right? How has that made you feel? Okay. Because even after explaining the tangible thing of like, I'm in bed and all this, you know, contemplating life. Right. And how's that whole situation make you feel? Knowing that you've been going through this for the last 5 years. Sometimes I feel like I just want to shoot myself. Yeah. So like Braden, even for you, my man, right? Weight loss. No, this is the pain, right? This is like, again, you want to get in deep. And when someone says verbally to you, I want to shoot myself. I'm not saying that your clients will say that, right? But I'm like, they'll say something so deep where you're like, bingo, there it is. There it is. And again, what I explained at the very beginning, what you're trying to do is you're trying to disqualify people, right? So if at some point you're thinking, I don't feel the pain here. I'm not seeing it. I'm not grasping the pain. You don't move on. You do not move on into the script. You stay in that pain. You keep on asking questions to dig in deeper and deeper and deeper. And you're trying to find it. You're trying to find it. And as I said with Nina, if at some point, you know, they're kind of bullshitting you and they're not really giving you anything, call it out, right? Because if there's no pain, then there's no sale, because they have no pain. They have no pain to resolve. So you don't move on, right? You need to disqualify them right there. You are not a good fit for the program. Okay, I'm sorry. It doesn't seem this is actually a serious enough issue for you, because we've been talking here and I'm just not getting it, man, right? Or am I missing something? Okay, so these are the layers, people. And again, this is what you want on a call. You want people to pour their heart and soul out to you. Again, understanding them, okay? Yeah, tell me more about that. What does that mean specifically to you? So again, can you see it's just like you're asking the same thing. They can tell you one thing, and then you can just keep on asking, how do you feel? How do you feel? What do you mean by that? How so? Okay, what's the impact of that? Right? You're going in. Okay. Yeah, what has been stopping you from fixing this? Yeah, of course, right? Just you're now dabbling into a bit of, again, just clarifying the problem. But the major thing with the clarify section is that you're clarifying not just the problem, but also trying to definitely already stir up some pain. And I say some, a lot of pain, a lot of pain. Okay. Next question. If you knew what you needed, what would that be? Okay. So again, this is us trying to understand and align a solution. Okay. Tell me more about this. What do you mean specifically? If you knew what you needed, what would that be? I need someone there behind me, right? Someone there behind me, just telling me it's okay. You know, it's because sometimes I feel like seriously, like there are days I just want to, I don't want to actually shoot myself. I feel like I want to shoot myself, right? Again, they can go into this and be like, okay, so, and again, to clarify, you can be like, right, okay, so you just need someone there behind you. Yeah, is that right? Is that what I'm understanding? Yeah, man, like I think that would change the world for me. Right, just having that person right by my side, just, you know, telling me it's okay. Like, yeah, okay, so right, telling me it's okay. So guess what? At the pitch, don't forget that they said that to you, because that's in the pitch. You're like, look, and I'm gonna be there, right there behind you, every single step of the way, you know, telling you it's okay. That would be in the pitch, because that's literally what they said that they wanted. Okay, so very important that you always use the same languaging, the same things they tell you, that you can relay it back to them. Okay, so you not have a reliable method currently. Okay, outcome they want. Tell me more about this. What do you mean specifically? Okay, again, just clarify, right? So it's a thing of like, okay, tell me more about this. What do you mean specifically? You know, and even there, it's just that extra layer of like, right, and knowing that, then how does that make you feel in your situation? Right, again, I love the how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel is a golden question. Okay, because it allows emotion to come out, right? Where it's just like, I don't have a reliable method. I've literally just gone through all this pain and I've told you a lot of shit about my life, and I don't have a way to fix it. Yeah, that feels depressing, right? That will be the thing from them. That it's depressing, right? Okay, so it's just more emotion. Pain. Pain is the game. Will it be fair to say there is knowledge gap to get there? And this is more of just, yes, a logical agreement. So they literally say to you, yes, I don't know how to do this, right? That's basically what we're trying to get them to admit, okay? So that's the clarify section, okay? Right. What questions, if any, do you have on that? Okay, you can poke the pain. You can unmute yourself and just ask. Yeah, I think we're a small enough group that it's okay. If you have any questions. If not, I'm just going to continue. Anyone? Nope. Yeah, makes sense. Cool. Just pain. Okay. So as you see, layers, pain. Yeah. As a question, actually, Braden, for example, do you go that deep?
Yeah, I do most of the time. Definitely at first, I definitely never got close to that. So like, a lot of the things that people would, I guess, say to me would be like, oh yeah, I just don't know like how to eat, or I don't know what workouts to do. And so I was getting kind of lost in there. And then I started like, okay, so what exactly have you been doing, or what's not, I guess, whenever they would say that just like not having nutrition, because that's been, I guess, the biggest deal. At first it was really hard for me to like go into that because I would just like think about it and then I would move on. I'd just be like, oh, okay. And then so I'd be questioning like, is that a pain? But obviously that's just a problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's a problem, but it's not the pain. So you have to direct the call back into that. It's like, okay, like again, because they'll mention that. But again, it's just like, okay, so let me get this right. So, you know, you don't know what to eat. You don't know, you know, how to work out. So let me just clarify. You said that this is causing you to, again, it's if they've had that conversation and they've admitted, yes, I'm overweight, right? And that's causing you to, and just bring it back into the overweight stuff, right? Right. And again, it's just like, okay, so you're overweight. And for you, dude, right, it is a case of like, again, okay, so, you know, you're like, you can't do this by the way. And this is kind of like a push away method, right? Which is like, okay, so, you know, you don't know what to eat, you know, you're not sure about, you know, working out, and that's caused you to be 20 kilos overweight. Yeah, is that right? Cool. Okay, all right, cool. So, you know, that 20 kilos overweight, that's not that bad, right? That's all right. Do you see what I'm doing? Right? What do you think they're gonna say? No. But seriously, I really want it lost. Like, you know, I can't stand it. Really, it's been there. Oh, okay. So, you know, you can't stand it. Like, what do you mean by that? Layer deeper, right? Layer deeper.
Yeah.
Okay, because I can't stand it. I don't know what that means. Can't stand it. You know, sometimes I can't stand my mom, but I love her. I don't want to get rid of her. So same thing, right? I can't stand it. So you can't stand, you could still be okay with it, you know. So again, it's always this thing of like layers, and you know, if someone tries to, you always have to try and get them back into the thing, right? So again, when you're saying what's the biggest problem for you, right? What's the biggest problem for you? Biggest, number one, okay? They won't say it's food, okay? Number one is just, look, or even if they do say it's food, it's like, okay, so because you don't, and even though you know the answer, it's just, okay, because you don't know, you know, how to eat, what's the impact of that? Yeah, it means that I just keep on binge eating, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay, and again, if they're not mentioning the weight thing, you need to steer them into it. Okay, and okay, keep on binge eating here and there. What's that doing then? And you know the answer, but you need to get them to say it, right? And once they say it's like, okay, cool, then we go into it. Then it's just like, okay, so you're overweight, you know, like see in your form, yeah, it's 20 kilos. Okay, how's that impacting your life then? Right? Leave it kind of open. How's it impacting your life? Again, because what we want is how it impacts their life. And weight is never just a question of weight. Okay, weight impacts confidence, your self-esteem, intimacy, energy, and you're just trying to see where it comes up for them, right? But this is why, Braden, you have to go into it, and again, you're looking for real emotion, right? Where they kind of like, again, you'll notice it in the call, where it's just like, yeah, man, it's been frustrating. It's been very frustrating, right? If you don't get there, that's why they don't buy, right? Because you need to bring up that pain. You need to make them realize again that this is their life. That is what they're dealing with on a daily basis. Everyone, when you're in your sales calls, okay, that deepness, that pain that they're in is what they're going through every single day. If you don't tap into that on a sales call, then they are oblivious to the impact that it is causing them. You're not creating any pain. You're simply asking questions so that the pain is now more apparent, so that the pain finally is out in the open. And that's the aim that we're trying to achieve. So in your sales calls, Braden, right? Don't move forward. Again, listen for it. If you're not getting it, do not move forward. And that's the trick. That's literally the trick for everyone. Okay. If you don't hear emotion, okay, on your calls, any frustration, anger, sadness, nervousness, right? If you're not hearing that emotion, do not move forward. You need to bring that out. You need to really, you know, dive in deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay. Make sense, Braden?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. Yeah. Peter, I'd actually like to ask you, because I know that you're on a more business side of things, right? You're on a wealth offer. Are you going into that deep getting emotion out?
Yeah, this is really interesting. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, I'm surprised at the stuff I'm getting, because I'm the more I go down on those layers, the more, because when I started doing the calls, I was doing it like you said, I was just surface level. Now I'm getting more comfortable going there, because sometimes it's not comfortable, right? So ladies, yesterday, the other day, was just saying, yeah, oh, it's I'm just letting myself down. I'm letting my husband down. You know, and how, you know, so you know how, you know where I'm going with this. So yeah, but I don't. But what I'm not doing, what I've listened back on the calls, is I'm not using all that great stuff. In my head, I'm like, oh, I'm just following through the script. No, stop. That's the stuff you need to bring in down the end.
Yes, correct. Absolutely, right? Which is always the beautiful thing of, again, in you see at the end when you pitch, like Ed has now framed things as, yes, you name the process, and then he says, which means that you won't feel that you are letting down your husband, your family, which means that, again, you're not going to feel, again, you're just relating back to what they said, okay? And so when they hear that, it's just like, yeah, that's what I need, right? So completely, that's cool, dude. If you're getting that emotion, when people start mentioning that they're letting down their family, and again, it's always like, even if they mention it, and how does that make you feel? Right? No one says that. It's just like, they think, oh, pain, yes, got it, move on. How does it make you feel? Beautiful question. I use it often, and I realize, because again, I do anxiety. I know it's shit. And they don't fucking have to tell me. But no matter how shit they tell me, I'm like, the last question, I'm always like, right, and in consideration of all that, like, honestly, like, deep down, how does that make you feel? Right? And tonality is very important in sales. Something they don't teach you, right? Which again, it's this, like, if you notice how I said that, it's just like, wow, you know, so you're going through all of that. Like, honestly, how does that make you feel?
So Peter, obviously we have about the same kind of audience, and I'll share with you the last 6K close that I just made last month. She was crying in tears. She's a business owner and a CEO. And after she bought in that day, she gave me the full payment, 6K, she bought in. Next morning, she sends me an email that she reconsidered. I got on the phone right away and I said, do you remember why you cried to me? Do you remember why you said, do you remember the pain that you are feeling right now? If you want to get rid of it, this is the only way you're going to be able to do so. And she was right back on the wheel. And she's one of my best clients right now.
Well, that is an amazing story, right? You would never think that she would come back to you after that.
Yeah, that's exactly why we're going into so much pain, right? Because even when they give you the objection, okay, you go back into, but you told me this, you told me that, you said you were sick of living your life day to day in the same thing over and over again. Again, their specific language, literally what they say, always refer that back, right? So pain, people, pain. Okay, let me answer some of the questions here. Paul, are you saying also that unless they already refer to their condition as overweight, you would not use that language to them? Their condition as, again, whatever they say. If they say they're fat, if they say they're overweight, if they say I got these large love handles, yes, you would always refer back to that language that they use, right? Always specifically what they say, okay, on how they say it. Jason, I definitely don't drill the pain enough. Yeah. One call that helped me really was law enforcement officer. I asked, how does it feel knowing that you have a partner? I asked, how does it feel knowing that you have a partner that is relying on you to cover his back and you can't run up 2 flights of stairs? Yeah. Oh, that's good. And then knowing that his family is also yes. Beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah, beautiful question. Oh, that's amazing, dude. Yes. Jennifer, question. If they say something that you felt yourself, do you ever say that no, this has nothing to do with you, right? This is not about you. This is a great question, right? But this is not about you. This is them. And again, it's You're here to understand their pain. You're here to listen and just be there for them. Hold the space, but never, oh yeah, I totally get it. Yeah. Oh, I've been through that myself. It's irrelevant. Okay. It's absolutely irrelevant at that point. It's only about them and what they're going through. Cool. Cool. Okay, I have an appointment. I need to go. Great session. Let's go, team. Go. All right. Let's continue. Okay. Cool. So now we're clarifying, right? Look, you could have gone through pain. Guess what the next part is? Link pain. More pain. That's all we're doing. It's actually just more pain, right? So it's not that it finishes. The whole thing is just pain. Okay. So I can't read that. How are you getting outcome they want at the moment? Okay. How you stay outcome that they want at the moment? How are you getting thing at the moment? Okay. Again, they're not. Okay. They're not. That's the thing, right? Oh, right. So tell me more about that. Okay. Again, they're stuck, right? They don't know what they're doing. Okay. So what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Yeah, again, and it's always the what do you mean question. The reason, as you can see in this whole scripting, it's in there so much, is basically because we just want to identify more pain, right? Really what it is that we're just trying to get the layers so that more pain about that situation unravels. And that's what we're trying to achieve. Okay. So again, so you don't have a method in place again, right? No. Tell me more about this. What do you mean specifically? How does that make you feel? Right? It's just pain. Okay. But there's no reason why you can't introduce the pain earlier on. So when you're clarifying, again, when I'm on a sales call, immediately I'm on like, okay, how can I make you cry? Okay. Genuinely. How can I make you cry? That is my thing. And so I need to go in deep. That's all this is. Okay. Wow, that must be really tough. Let's look at your numbers then. Okay. And I've got a question on this of like, oh, numbers. Like I don't have a business niche or like a like more wealth kind of based niche, right? Everything's numbers. Okay. Everything is numbers. Yes. How many X per month are you how many X per month are you getting now? Right. This could be, again, let's say if it was my niche, anxiety. Okay. How many times, or I wouldn't use months, right? Probably I'll go weekly. How many times are you having panic attacks in a week? Okay. Right. So it's numbers. Braden, health niche. How many times do you feel out of breath in a day? Okay. How many times do you look at yourself in the mirror and think, X, again, be careful with that one, because that's, again, it's only relevant if they said it. Okay. In the clarifying of the problem. So if they say to you, I look at my mirror at my mirror and I'm just, I think I just want to cry. I feel like I just cry. Right. So then you go, okay, so how many times, maybe you can go like how many times per week or month do you end up crying in front of the mirror? Wow. Every day. Okay. Again, like these, and don't forget these questions. Like you could have asked that earlier on as an example, right? It doesn't have to be here. Again, there's a framework. As you can see, the whole thing is just pain. How do we understand what they're going through? Okay. So numbers, it's relevant to everyone, absolutely everyone, even relationships. Okay. How many times do you argue a month? Right? How many times do you pass an opportunity to talk to someone that you fancy? Okay. Like it's all numbers. Of course, where would you like to be? Okay. What about last month before that? Yeah, it's just honing in again of like, shit, like, fuck. That's how many times I've been doing it. That's what I've been doing this whole time. Gee, and again, it's just you're bringing up clarity of the problem and the pain. It's just like, wow, I didn't even freaking realize that. Okay, where would you like it to be? Okay, where would you like it to be? And again, where would you like it to be is a question where this is where you're now, this is the important part here. This is how you're like the value of what you provide. Okay, because at the end of the call, again, right, when we're going through clarify the first part, okay, This is the thing that you remind them of to say, yeah, but you told me this, right? It's the anchor. The pain is the anchor for them to resolve the issue that they're having, okay? Now, you have to go into, okay, is it worth the price point, right? Where would you like to be? And make sure this is bigger than the investment of your program. So then, again, it goes back into the impact of what it's causing. And therefore, is what you provide, is it worth them liberating themselves from the problem? So, you know, business, how many clients are you onboarding at the moment, last month, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like, what would you agree that is a priceless outcome in terms of, you know, again, this is numbers, right? So if you're in business, you should be going through numbers, like specific numbers, as in how much are you generating, right? How much would you like to generate? Anything in your expertise that you see is, again, relevant, high chunk. Don't go into details, okay? It's just understanding, again, the problem, and then saying, okay, where would you like, you know, where would you agree that that is a priceless outcome, in the sense that you have agreed that maybe someone says, yeah, at the moment I'm making 5K a month, you know, I'm making 5K a month, but I know that, like, again, how many times have you lost, Peter, your one, I'm guessing sales, right? Number of sales calls. How many times you keep on, how many sales calls have you not closed in the last month? Right? Numbers. Right. So if we could close more, okay, even by just 20%, how many would that be? And again, even if you know the answer, Peter, you're getting them to tell you the answer. Okay. And remember, it's always get that, even if you know the answer, get them to tell the answer. And then again, just like, okay, cool. So, you know, if we can close an extra 20%, okay, do you think that's feasible? If you have the right system and processes in place? Yeah, like, it should be. I'm closing at 30, but I want to get to 50%. Okay, cool. Okay, so if you could close at 50%, what would that give you every month? They tell you. Okay, you can calculate it. You know the answer, but have them tell you. Oh, okay, so that much, right? And so if you can get that much, you know, over the course of just 1 month, well, in the entire year, what's that? Roughly. Can you see I'm expanding the image of how much the return is? Yeah. So then it's just like, they'll give you the number. Also, you will bank into your pocket an extra 60K a year. I don't know the maths. Obviously, you'd go through that with them, right? Oh, so then you, hello, pitch, my program's this much. You're going to be getting 60K more. No brainer, right? That's for a wealth niche, of course, right? When you put in those numbers. Health. So what is your weight right now? Last month, the month before, yeah. Tell me about the outcome. Tell me about the outcome for your client. Is this right? Tell me about the outcome. Would you agree that there's a price outcome? Got it. It's not, yeah, it's a question, but cool. Tell me more about that. Yeah. Tell me about that outcome. What does that really mean to you? Again, people think, oh, it has to be monetary, a monetary value. It's not. It's how much is this worth it to them? Again, health, right? So, right, you know, so you're 20 kilos overweight. Like, can I just ask a personal question here? Person says yes. Like, is this affecting you in the bedroom? You know, how's the intimacy with your husband? Okay, because it's a personal question. It's a very personal question, right? Oh, it's, you know, I mean, it's all right. Again, I have been crying when I look at myself in the mirror, and I am embarrassed to just be naked in front of him. Okay, right? So what is that really costing you? Yeah, on a day-to-day basis. You're trying to see the cost. Yes. Well, yeah, I do feel that I'm resistant to him, and he has mentioned it to me time to time as well. Of like, I feel, he says I'm robotic in the bedroom. And how does that make you feel? They can get emotional. Okay, more pain. So we could fix this, right? What would that do for you? What would that do for your relationship? Oh, well, you know, I guess I kind of quicken the process here, right? But of course, you go into it And then again, it's just a thing of like, oh yeah, I mean, I would love to just be more confident with him. I would love to just, you know, I really just, again, have it like it was when we were first dating. Because honestly, yeah, back then I was like, you know, 20 kilos less. And I felt amazing about myself. And I was really just, yeah, me and him, it was very just, it was passionate, so much love. And it was, yeah, it was just really good. We've lost that. And I would love to have that back. Okay. And what would that be worth to you? Oh, that it'd be worth the world. I mean, yeah, like, you know, again, this question of would you agree that that is a priceless outcome? Me personally, I don't like that question. That's me personally, okay? Because I don't like making statements, okay? I don't want them, again, it's like, you know, what is that worth to you, right? That for me is, again, they'll say that's worth the world, okay? Right, what, it's worth the world? Are you sure? Are you sure? I mean, it's just like, you know, the intimacy you have, is that not good enough? I'm compounding on the same thing, right? I'm compounding on the same thing because they say, oh, it's worth the world. So even when you go back down to the pitch and you're like, it's worth the, you know, you told me it's worth the world. Again, sometimes it's just this thing that they say it's worth the world. But what does that really mean? Like, are you sure? You know, when you say it's worth the world, I mean, is that just you're saying it, or what's that really mean to you? Like, what's that really worth to you? You know what? If we can just be, you know, together again as we used to be, where I can be confident in myself because I don't have all this weight, I think it's worth my happiness. Happiness. You can't put a price on your happiness, can you? There you go. Right? So you're always just trying to, you know, just where it in your brain, you're kind of like, where is it? Where is it? You convinced me now. You have convinced me. Now I can move on, right? Because this is the thing, people rush the script. Again, you get better at this, at honing on trying to dial in and, you know, get the answer you want. But you have to read with sales, you have to take your time. It has to be like, okay, like, you know, think it through. They haven't given you the answer that you want yet. Again, it has to be a good fit for you, meaning there is pain, they are serious, you've anchored into the fact that this is a priceless outcome. This is what we're trying to achieve, okay? I'm gonna skip relationship, okay? But it's, again, in the health example, it's the same thing, okay? Like you need to get them into that thing of, yeah, this is what it's worth to them, okay? This is what it's worth to them, right? What if you don't do this now? What happens? Okay. The cost of inaction, people. Cost of inaction. Okay. Really powerful. Because some people, it's just like, this usually shows up when there is no big pain, because as an example, they are, they have a business. They're doing good, but they want to grow the business. Okay. So it's not a fact of, you know, like they have to be in, like you would have brought up pain here, because even if they want to grow a business, they want to do it for a reason, okay? And you need to locate what that reasoning is. Again, where is that pain? So there is still going to be pain, but however, in their mind, it's not, I'm doing good already, you know? In business, I am doing good. I'm earning good cash already, right? However, I want to get to this place. So if I don't actually get to that place, okay, so what actually happens then if you don't achieve that, okay? It's an inverse. Here it's, you are recapping though, okay? You're going to recap because it's important that they understand that you understand, okay? This is just simply taking a break, having everything that you, and again, the pain, the fact that whatever, you know, that they were letting down their family and friends, or for family or the family and kids, sorry, okay? That would be in here, okay? Because right, they've told you the pain. You highlight it again, like, is that right? Is that where we're at? Okay. Have you considered what would happen to your family if you don't resolve this? Of course, yeah. Again, it's here, but it can be earlier on, and you're always mixing and matching, just listening to the whole situation. You have no, yeah. So you want, yeah, that's all cool. Yeah. What if you don't do this now? What happens? Look, I really, this is an important one. Okay. because this goes into your pitch as well, right? Which at the end of the day, it's a thing of like, sometimes people are caught in that stupid zone and they're just like, I just, and they're stuck there. And honestly, I would say let them think it through. Don't interrupt their thinking, because some, yeah, look, you know, and you want to get in there. Shut up. Let them think. Let them think. They can take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. Just let them think. Okay. But ultimately, if they come back to you with a, you know, I don't know. Like, I do believe in the process, but I don't think I can do this. Right? I don't know. Right. And again, it's because you get this is a weird instance, but you can get it. So then it goes back to always, okay, so look, you know, what happens if we don't do this? And they will remind themselves of everything they just talked about. Okay, so what happens if we don't do this? It's really important that you nail this down, okay, accurately. And again, right. And so, you know, how does that make you feel? How does it make you feel is always really, really powerful. Okay. Or what do you mean by that? Okay. So that's that. Cool. Linking pain. Okay. Linking pain. So that's it. Again, it's the important part of this section really is the value of what you provide. Okay. Clarify for me is, again, your pain, not problems, pain. Linking the pain. Yes, there's more pain, but also trying to measure up the value of what you provide. Okay. So I'll use Braden because the health examples are really the best ones to use, because that's when it also allowed me to understand, right, it's not you're just trying to help them lose weight. It is a thing of, again, it could be with their spouse, the intimacy. It could be with their energy and how they play with their kid. It could be their confidence and self-esteem, not just personally, but professionally. And these are things that in the call, you're going to have to maneuver and understand, where is it coming from? And that's when you then say, look, this is really not just about losing weight. You told me that this is affecting your relationship with your husband. You told me that you can't play around with your kid. You like 2 minutes in and you're already sweating. You told me that, you know, when you're walking in your day-to-day, that you're always trying to make sure that your shirt is tucked in because like the buttons are popping out, and how that makes you feel absolutely horrible inside, right? So we just, you're living your life day-to-day like that, right? You're living your life day-to-day. So again, it's this mindset shift of what we provide for our clients is not just the one thing. It's solving how it all ripples into the entirety of their life, right? When you lock that in, then yes, you have a priceless outcome. You have an offer that people say it is worth that much, okay? And therefore, then it's just logistics. So it's not that it's not worth it. It's logistics. Okay, so how can I make the payment? How can I make this happen for myself? Okay. Let's see. Questions. Ken, that's hilarious. Robotic in the VR. I don't know. All right. Any questions on that piece? Any questions?
I had a question about the question, how does that make you feel? Is there like a certain amount of like to use that, or does it matter how many times we ask that?
I really like it, dude.
Yeah, because once you said that you really
you go.
I was just gonna say real quick, once you mentioned that you really like that question, I started using it a lot more, and it's helped me out quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely, man. Because honestly, again, it's layers, dude. And it's just like you need the emotion. You need the emotion, because people are very logical in their way of thinking when they explain something to someone, especially when they haven't talked to this person before, right? They don't know you, and it's just like they're very just, yeah, this is it. And it's just like, oh no, how does that make you feel? Or again, what does that mean specifically? Okay, what do you mean by that? Because sometimes it's not clear. You need to clarify it. Like for me, I just like using how does it make you feel to wrap things up. That for me personally, that's what I always use it for. I use it to wrap it up after they've explained problem. I ask, what do you mean by that? How so? You know, tell me more. Okay, so they pulled that, you know, all this out. It's like, okay, all of that. How does that make you feel? Right? Because then on the call, that's when it's just like, fuck. It is shit. It's so shit. And again, like they'll get really, you know, they'll get into that emotion for sure. Okay. But that's it. Is there any questions on again, like, because people sometimes they're not sure if they're providing, like, is their offer worth that much? This is the reason why people don't buy, okay, as well. This very reason, because you have not culminated the entirety of what this is doing in their life. When you do, and you can sum it up, and again, through questioning, again, it is this thing of like, I know in the script it says, you know, can we agree it's a priceless outcome? Don't quite like that. I just like, you know, what would that be worth to you, right? And again, even when they say something, it's like, I would question it. Again, it's just like, are you sure, right? Are you sure? Because I mean, you've been dealing with this, you know, for 5 years now, and it's okay, isn't it? Push away, right? Which is like, you're fine, aren't you? No, it's too much. It is too much, and I do need to change now. And I need to do something about this. Otherwise, X, Y, Z, right? You're trying to get these reactions from people. Okay, so really, really important when you're doing this. Cool. Oh wait, do I have something in the chat? No question, lots of clarity about digging down to the pain and what it means to the client. I feel already for my first strategy. Oh, nice. Cool. Let's keep it moving. Okay, let's keep it moving. Okay. Observe past. Oh gosh, this is one where people, oh, I'm excited for this one, right? Because this is in my experience, I'm like, you little bitch, man, fuck. I realized it after, when I learned more about sales. I was like, oh, this is where I went wrong. That's where it was. Of course, it makes perfect sense. Okay, so look, observe past decisions, cost, and responsibility. Okay, so look, in the past, what have you tried that hasn't worked? Okay, hey, how does that make you feel? Favorite question. Okay, yes, what was the cost of it not working? And definitely go through all this, right? So emotionally, what does that cost you? Financially, you know, what does that cost you? And how does that make you feel? You even say that, even in the script, it says, how does it make you feel, right? How is it affecting other areas of your life? Again, we're building, we're always building. But this is really important because, especially what I found within my space, right? I would either get people that had done therapy, counseling, traditional methods, right? And so when I explain my method, it's completely new to them. However, I would get some people that had gone through very unique methodologies that actually were in line with mine too. Okay, I was like, oh, okay, so this person actually knows their stuff. They know, you know, about the body work, but yet they're still, for instance, you know, going on with anxiety. So again, at that point, the thing is, as much as this is covering the fact that, okay, like, you know, what have you tried that hasn't worked, and that you're digging into the pain of all of that. What's also important to realize, again, the whole core is an objection handling framework. So when someone tells you, two instances where I can, on top of my head, I can like really remember, because I was like, oh fucking hell, like, oh, I couldn't get them, and I don't know why, right? So one of them, it was a case that they had actually done the body work from the same person I actually learned to do it from. Okay, free videos nonetheless, or maybe they bought the little program. I don't know. I can't remember now, right? I was like, oh, you're literally the same stuff that I teach, right? Okay, like he's learned it and he hasn't gotten the result. So I'm just thinking, I was like, okay, so all right, you know this stuff then, but then why haven't you gotten the result? Why are you still suffering with anxiety? Okay, because again, some people are like, I know it. Okay, this could be in sales, this could be in weight loss, all niches. I know it, right? I've done this already. Yeah, so of course, when you then mention in your pitch, this is a red flag. Remember, you're looking for red flags. Shit, they told me that they've done something that's in my pitch, right? I know my stuff works, so what the hell did you do wrong? Okay, you can't say that to them though, right? You have to, again, ask questions to understand what has gone on. So they tell you, in this case, it like, you know, how can I handle that situation better? He did tell me this. He said, I think I don't know how to trust myself. I don't know how to trust my body. Okay, so that was a unique situation where I was like, trust. Okay, so I knew that was the issue, but at the time I didn't have the skills to really push forward with it and you know, make overcome the objection, right? He said that, and again, I knew it was the issue. I was like, trust. Okay, so he needs to trust in himself. But the thing is, again, this is the problem with statements. When you try and in your pitch, you'll say, yeah, so my pitch does this, and this is exactly where I'll be there with you so that you can trust your body. You can say that. However, I don't find that's good enough, right? Why? Because again, it's a statement. You're telling them that, as opposed to actually getting them to reflect upon the reasons of why they failed in the first place, okay? So if someone ever came to me with, yeah, it's because I don't trust myself, like, okay. I mean, you know, from my understanding, you're saying that this didn't work for you because you couldn't trust in yourself. You couldn't trust in your body. So if we work together, why is that going to be any different? Yeah, on him. Why is that going to be different? Yeah, and then he'll answer whatever he answers. Yeah, he'll be really, really stuck. Okay, so, you know, if you can't trust yourself, then what are you going to do about it? What's going to happen? I'm not going to move. My lesson learned, I do not move from this piece. I need for him to come to the realization that he has to do something about it, right? I need for him to realize that, again, look, you told me this, you told me that, and this seems to be a major block for you. And look, I'll be honest with you. I don't see this changing. So look, even if you work with me, I'm going to tell you now, I don't think I can help you. Again, people, it needs to be a right fit. Push away. You know what they will do instinctively when you start telling them, I don't think this is going to work. And then I can even say this. Look, if you never trust in yourself, is any method going to work for you? That's a bit, yeah. So it's like, holy shit. Again, this is like, because you know the stuff, right? And I'll tell you now, this is exactly what I teach. However, just because you know it, from what I'm observing, doesn't mean you're actually doing it, because otherwise you would have the result, right? Yeah, I'd have the result, Kev. No, you're right. And I do have an issue with this. And okay, so, you know, where do we go from here? I am not making any conclusions. I am just going to bombard him with questions to keep him in that. I haven't had the experience again. I'm hoping I can, right? Because I would love, again, this is how you get better at your own sales ability, right? By having the most difficult, just like, again, trust. How do you get a person to trust in themselves again on the call so they don't object to it at the end? Because at the end of the day, that was the objection. It came up. He's like, look, I don't know, I can't. And so much uncertainty, right? But the uncertainty, again, it's not about the process, because he was like, it's fine. Process was fine. 10 out of 10. Okay. Again, because he knows the stuff, right? So he agrees with it. However, it doesn't matter, because if he can't trust himself, then nothing will change. So sometimes people, it is about this thing of like, you're always saying, oh, the objection was this. The objection was the fact that he just wasn't the right fit to begin with, right? Because of the fact that, again, you didn't overcome it earlier on. Okay, so really, really important that when you get these are very unique situations, but I want to describe to you the unique situations, because it gets you to have a feel of how you should manage these situations, right? Which again is, don't move through the script. Don't move down the damn script. Keep at it, because it will come up later otherwise. Okay, right? So yeah, like even for you, Braden, right? Oh, I know how to eat all this or that. It's just like, right, okay, so yeah, I totally appreciate that. You know how to do it all. You know how to eat. So why are we here on the call then? Right?
Yeah, that's happened to me. There was a guy. I think he said he's like 350 pounds. He's like, oh yeah, I know all the diets and everything, and I've done this before, and it worked really well. I was like, okay. Yeah. So you weighed 350 pounds.
Yeah. So again, you can't say that to them, obviously. I hope you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So why are we on the call then? It seems like you have this all figured out, right? Push away, just a slight push away. It's like, no, but like I know that I need to get this done. Okay, so you would have answered this previously. Okay, so look, if you know the stuff, there must be something missing then. What would you say that is? You're trying to find the gaps. You're trying to get them. Again, this guy was the trust, but the trust is not something I can tell him at the end that you'll gain the trust in yourself, right? The trust, I was like, I need to put it right there. Like, okay, even if he doesn't trust himself, he needs to make a commitment to say, I need to change this, right? Even if I don't trust myself, right? Again, I don't know how that conversation would have gone because it's always questions. And the fact is, again, I would have just stayed there in that questioning and I would not have moved forward now knowing what I know, okay? I do not move forward if I'm not satisfied with the answer they give me. So if it's like for anyone, even for you, Peter, right? Like completely the same thing. At any point in the call, you're not satisfied with what they give you, you don't move on, you know? I had an instance as well with another woman. She was actually, yes, anxiety, also insomnia, right? And she had done another program. But again, I kind of just, I didn't know any better. So I just let her say what the program, you know, the program she'd done. I asked, oh, like, how much did that cost you? And then, you know, she didn't tell me how much it was, but I just moved on. I just moved on. Ultimately, I didn't ask the question of like, oh, okay, so, you know, that didn't work for you. Why do you think that is? I'm trying to find the gaps, right? They've done something before. So you have to immediately red flag, assess, and ensure that they're not going to say the same thing to you. Because if they think that one other program that failed them, right? What's to say that they're not going to say, you know, the same thing for this program in your offer, in what you do, that's going to be any different. Okay, so you need to address that right in the there. And I didn't. And that's why at the end of the day, she gave me a 7 out of 10 on my process. 7 out of 10. I was shocked. I was like, no one's giving me that low, right? No one. I'm like, how are you giving me a 7 out of 10? I was like, I couldn't pitch. I didn't pitch her, right? But that's not the point. The point is I failed because she was a 7 out of 10. And I'm thinking, oh, it's because my pitch isn't good or I don't understand the problem. And no, of course. Her doubt from the very beginning was the fact that she tried something unique out there. She'd done therapy with this, tried something else unique, spent a lot of money on it, and it didn't work. So then she has a thing of like, this is not possible. I don't know if this works. Questioning. Okay, so again, like, you know, what do you think was missing from that? Okay, if this method failed you, what's to say that another method isn't going to fail you? Right? Because if you think that method failed, nothing works. Like, again, I want to pry into this, okay? And I need to address it. And she needs to, no, like, and again, the beautiful thing that you can also say is this, right? Where you can flip it. So, you know, if we were to work together, you know, what do you think would be different about us working together? What do you think would be different about me? Okay, again, if they had information, if they had like homework videos, if they saw your content already, if they knew something about you, you know, yeah, like, what do you think would be different about working with me? Yeah. Do you believe that, you know, I could help you? Again, and they can say yes or no. And then again, before you get to the end, you're already addressing it. Okay, before any pitch, before anything. Again, you're okay. Do you believe that I can help you? Yeah, you know what? Like, I did see that you were different. I saw your webinar and I see what you teach and I saw your client testimonials. So, you know, I do. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Okay, and then you can move on, right? So this is the nuances with this people, right? Again, I said sales is very nuanced. It really, really is, right? Many layers, very nuanced. You're trying to always address red flags, okay? Red flags, killer, absolute killer, right? In talking about red flags, again, earlier on, if they mention things about time, okay? I'm a busy person and you know, just struggling to just, you know, get time to you know, prepare my meals. Who knows, right, Braden? Like, if they say that, okay? Just like, oh, well, I mean, okay, right. So yeah, I get it. You know, you're struggling to prepare your meals, but you know, if you want to do this and, you know, better your life and lose the 20 kilos that you want to lose that you told me, you know, well, if you're struggling to get time for packing up your meal prep, how are you going to get the time to actually, you know, achieve the result you want? Okay, question it. Oh, no, I'll make time. Or again, they can go the other way. It's like, I don't know. Oh, so, you know, so why are we here then? Again, why are we on the call? Right? If you don't know and you can't do anything about it, yeah, why are we even on the call then? Right? So you're always challenging them. You're always challenging them. That's basically all we're doing. Okay. Time, of course, yes, spouse as well if it comes up. Spouse, a bit different, but yeah. Right, let's keep on moving forward. In the past, have you had the right support? Yeah, cool. This is just, yeah, totally cool. Just follow it. I bought a program before, it didn't work. Again, this is the thing. For me, I'm like saying I would address that. I need them to say, oh, but it's worked for other people though. So why didn't it work for you? All right, really important, this stuff, right? It's worked for other people, so why didn't it work for you? Because you want them to say the answer and like, oh, okay. And again, that's the problem that they say. They're identifying the gap. Oh, it's because I didn't have the support I needed. Oh, it's because I would do really good, like keeping my, meal prep for like 1 week. And then after that, I couldn't build the habit. Okay, bang, I couldn't build the habit. Guess what? Pitch. So, and we're going to make sure you build the habit so you can be consistent to not just do it for 1 week, but do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and for the rest of your life, effortlessly. Okay. Well, guys, we're identifying. We again, everything. The whole fucking thing is an objection handling framework. Is what I'm saying. Okay, the whole thing. These are what these questions are doing. Yeah. Again, my preference. I don't like statements. I just like questions. My preference. I like free, fluid questions. For me personally. Okay. And of course, does your partner support you? Are they supportive of getting you rid of the problem? Do you make decisions when it comes? I'm not going to go into objection handling, okay, in this, because again, the whole thing's objection handling. With the partner thing though, again, it's a preference, prevention rather than cure. It just shouldn't have happened in the first place, where if in your niche, right, you're seeing that it's a trend, yes, then absolutely ensure that that you have this as a qualifying question. Again, asking front end before they join the call, can you make financial decisions without your spouse? Right, really, really important. Because honestly, with spouse, it's just prevention. I prefer getting them both on the call, and that's my process. I don't want to go back and forth. It's really long. Okay, so this is a more of a prevention thing. I don't want to be even handling this on the call because you can't. Yeah, you just need the other person with you, as in the spouse, the partner, the boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You need them with you. Okay, like, so from the get-go, you should understand that. Again, if it's a trend, if you're seeing it coming up frequently, then I will put it into my process to ensure that, nope, I need you both on the call. Always, always, always. Okay. In the past, if you knew what you knew, how would you like to be supported? Okay. Just simple question. Again, identifying gaps, right? Identifying what they would like in terms of support. It's a beautiful question. It's honestly a very beautiful question because, of course, you're going to say that that's your tailoring to their needs. Okay. Brilliant. Cool. Stop share. Oh, we're getting a small group. You lot are the dedicated ones. So I'm proud of you for that. Okay. You lot are the ones that really want it. Okay. Let me just go through the chat. Okay. Oh, what should listen to? Okay, great call. Need to take another. Listen to the rest of the replays. Okay, good. Okay, cool. Any further questions on this part?
I have one just about what we were talking about, where you had somebody that didn't trust himself to go through the program. So I had somebody that was like that. It was like the middle of December last month. I thought that I closed him, but he was like, okay, yeah, let's just have a call tomorrow. Well, he ended up texting me before, obviously, and didn't want to go through, but it was because he felt like he needed to do some more like self-development work before he should invest in himself. And so at the time, like I still honestly don't know, but it was difficult for me to like go into that and like, well, that's basically, what the program does is it allows you to trust yourself, because if you do these things and you continue to do them, that'll also build the confidence. So I guess my question is, how would you go about following up with somebody that didn't trust themselves before?
How much time has passed?
It's been almost a month. The 14th, it'll be a month.
A month's good. Yeah. So like it goes both ways in terms of, again, because the question is going to come up, right? Which is why now? Okay. Mm-hmm. And depending on that conversation, right, I'm going to go into depth on it. Obviously, the why now, because that's so freaking important, right? Before you move on, it's like, yeah, so why do this now? Because again, I would relate to what he said to me. Look, I'm confused. you said that, you need to do this now. And look, I appreciate it if, like where you're at and you think that you need to go and do self-development. I completely agree with you. Very important. I agree with them. You do not fight them on it. It's like, absolutely, you are right? But I'm just a bit confused here because you told me this is the reason why you need to do it right now. You told me X, Y, Z pain, okay? And yet you think that this is a better solution for you, right? I thought we agreed, again, because you would, again, can you see it's all prevention? Because you agreed that my method, my process, you were 10 out of 10 on it, right? So I'm missing something here. What's going on with that? Okay, so this is all prevention, right? Because this whole thing shouldn't happen, because when it happens, it's just, that's it. It's kind of lost, right? But ultimately in this situation, what I would personally do, I'll just check up on them and say, hey, look, like, how is that personal development stuff going, right? If they tell me, oh, I'm not on it yet, it's like, oh, but I thought you said that, the importance of you doing this, the reason why you wanted to, do personal development work was so that it was the first step to getting, your weight goals or whatever, whatever they said, okay? You told me, however, that the reason you need to do it now is because of this. So why haven't you started? Okay, so I'm calling them out here. So this is no longer me, again, because it's kind of broken already. So instead, this is a blatant call out, which is, you said this is the reason why you need to do it now. And yet, and fair enough, you said that this is your preferred solution. You think this is what you need to do instead, but you haven't started yet. And it's been a month. So is this going to keep up for another month? Yeah. So again, it's this thing of like, and this is a conversation, like, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. You know what? Like, I think you should actually wait another 2 months. Actually, you know what? Make it free. Keep on waiting another 3 months. I think that's probably the best choice for you right now. Yeah. Because and I'll just stay silent again, because this is no longer a sales call in which you're trying to like prevent the objections. It's happened, and so now this is strict me just being like, I'm gonna call you out on your bullshit, right? That's obviously my character, what I would do. Because at the end of the day, again, it's very hard to get them back in. And this is more of a like, look, I appreciate what you're saying, but you told me this is important to you. You told me you were going through this, and you said that this is the reason why you need to do it now. Now you spent a month and you haven't even started the thing that you said, fair enough, you need to do this other solution, but you haven't started it yet. You should just take another 3 months. You should keep on thinking about another 6 months, actually, right? Is that what you want? I'm just gonna call it out. Again, we had a chat already. I'm just gonna call it out. I'll leave it. Yeah. Again, this is the thing of like, at the end of the day, like, I just want to see you get the result. But at the moment, again, I'm just really confused. Okay. You have a good day. I wouldn't use my energies to think about it too much, right? But I will call them out. I will call them out. Again, it shouldn't happen when you actually do the process like all correctly, right? But yeah, ultimately, that's again, everyone has a different approach. That's just what I would personally do. Yeah.
I like that.
All right. Jill, you had a question?
Yes, this is probably no, but I just wondered, how we record the calls, if you have someone whose partner isn't available, or they're saying the partner needs to be there, but you can't get them on the call, would you ever consider sending them a recording of the session with the person?
Yeah. No, it's not the preferred method.
Yeah.
But it is a thing of, I mean, are they even going to go through? This is the thing. I would send it to them because, yes, maybe they can go through it. But ultimately, again, it's prevention. I just want them on the call. And that should be your focus around everything, rather than trying to, again, I get it. Like, I get the mentality, guys, because all you lot, like these questions even arise from, hey, I fucked up, they didn't buy, they had all these objections. Like, what do I do about it? Again, it should never happen in the first place. Okay, if anything, you're the one who should be objecting to them, saying, no, sorry, it's not a good fit, because the red flags, because they didn't have enough pain, because they said that they didn't have time, because they said that again, they tried other methods and they don't trust themselves. Okay, and you couldn't move from there. It's like, okay, you know what, this ain't gonna be for you. Okay, and the powerful thing when you say that, when you say, look, this is not for you,
yeah,
what do you think that gets them in a state of? No, what, like. The person I rejected,
psychology almost.
Yeah. So the person that I actually said, who I gave 7 out of 10, who gave me 7 out of 10, I didn't pitch her. I told her this ain't for you. Okay, like this ain't gonna be for you, because honestly, like it's not about price anymore. You're more fixated on the price than you are about now actually solving the issue. And for that reason, you know, you're focused on the wrong thing. So I'm gonna say this is not for you. You know what she said to me? She was so shocked. And she literally said that I just can't believe you like rejected me. I was like, because, and this is a shock. You can hear it in her voice. It was very unsteady. Okay, because she wasn't thinking, like, again, what do most people do? Yeah, we'll get you sorted. It's fine. No, yeah, come. We'll get you in. Just pay the check. That's absolutely fine. No, I have integrity. Okay,
it's not worth it in the long term. Having been a psychotherapist for 23 years, it's not worth it in the long term. If they're a problem at that stage, they're going to be an even
correct.
bigger
And
problem.
that's an important aspect you bring up, Jill. Absolutely right. These people that you let through that are red flags as well, right? That you think, oh, okay, whatever, and I'll even give them a discount, whatever. They are problem childs. Okay, like they're problem children. Okay, they will give you such a big headache after that you'll think, oh, fucking hell, why did I let them in? Yeah. Like, why? And then sometimes, like, again, like I've had it, and that's why now my process is stronger, right? Because I had that situation where the client complained because there was uncertainty. Even though I had the follow-up call, got them back in, she was just not, again, she wasn't 100% from the very beginning. And because of that, she even said that the stuff that she had to do, it felt like a chore. I'm like, well, what do you want? You have to do something about it. You have to put in the work. So what do you want from me, right? So if someone's saying it's a chore, again, her whole mindset from the very beginning was off, right? Yeah. So that's why I don't allow it. That's why I don't allow any, I need to stay on, even 9 out of 10. No, I want a 10 out of 10. I want them to be enthusiastic over the fact that, oh my gosh, yes, I am in. This is 100%. Okay, let's just do this. Yeah, how much is it?
Yeah, you should never be working harder than your client. Yeah.
Facts. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
I'm wrong. Okay, let's keep it moving. Apologies, I know this is long. I knew this is going to be long, right? Because obviously this is deep, right? This is really, really deep. I wanted something that people could view and really understand the process at a deeper level. Cool. So now we're at self-destination. Okay, transition to your pitch. Okay, urgency. Why not stay where you are then? So if not, then when? Okay, so again, this is like, yeah, is anything keeping you from starting right away in this? This is, again, people like I've made this mistake, right? So again, it comes back to when I look at my own kind of like things or what I've done. Of course, there was an example. I had a prospect where I knew that she was going to, mistake. I didn't know that she was going to get married. Okay, I didn't know. But of course, when I then mentioned the pitch, I mentioned the price. Guess what? She then starts thinking about, oh yeah, it's just like I get married in 3 months, and you know I need cash for that. And again, right? If I just had asked this one question here, okay, is there anything keeping you starting right away? They may say, no, nothing's preventing me. Are you sure? Any big events? You know, I know holiday season's around the corner. Is there any family things? Like, is there anything big that is really not going to allow you to dedicate your resources and focus, energy into this? Okay, I would have asked a more emphasized question on that now, right? Realizing, because I only discovered at the end that there was the what's that called? She was going to get married, right? So again, expenses. So in my mind, I was like, oh, I get it. No, I was weak. I was weak on understanding her pain and having her understand the cost of inaction, right? So in this, again, it's very important. I know it says here very lightly, you know, why not stay where you are? So if not, then when? But it's a real emphasis of, again, you need that urgency. And again, it's a red flag when you're like, okay, like a better framing of this is this, right? It's, when you're looking at this, it's more of a, where am I? Oh, why not stay where you are then? So if not, then when? It's more of a, yeah, so why now then? You know, you've been dealing with this for like 5 years. In fact, earlier on, you said that at the moment, you're not even proactively looking to do anything about your problem. You know, you've been 6 months since the last thing you tried. So what's different? You know, what's different now? Why is now the time that you're on this call with me? You know, why is now the time that you want to fix this? Okay. So can you see it's a bit more in there to understand, again, like, no, like this is the reason why, right? Because some people are just like, again, they've had the problem for a while, but maybe it's the fact that, you know what, it was just 2 weeks ago, let's say relationship niche, 2 weeks ago, no, you know what, like me and my husband always fight, we do, but 2 weeks ago, it got bad, right? It was that was, for me, that was the last straw. And even if they told you in the clarifying, right, when you're clarifying the problem or pains, just having them emphasize that, no, this is the reason why, right? Because again, it's this thing of like, there needs to be urgency. Okay, this is where you create the urgency, right here. This is where you need to understand truly, and they may repeat themselves, right? And again, I'll just question them again. It's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it, and you've been telling me like you've been going through this and that, but you've been going through it for 5 years, so why not just keep on going? Again, like, why now? Like, seriously. Okay, I want the answer, right? I want the answer for them to just tell me no more, no more. Like, no, this is the reason why I cannot do this anymore. This needs to change. It's here, right here. And so then again, that's when, to the pitch, if they do come up with any objections or just a bit of uncertainty, again, this always plays into it. Look, you told me this. You told me this is the reason why you do it right now. You told me that you cannot go another day living your life like this. So where do we go from here? Okay, and again, it's a question. I'm not telling them, look, so we have to do this. It's not you have to do this. You don't have to do this, actually, right? Look, you don't have to do this. You can continue living your life another 5 years as you have done, because that's what you told me. 5 years of this, and that. You told me that if you don't fix it, you're going to go for another 5 years of this, and that. Is that what you want? Can you also see my tonality, by the way? Right? Tone is really important. Okay? It emphasizes this is why I say, people, look, the two major things in sales, for me, just to keep things basic, is ask questions only. Do not throw statements at them. Do not tell them what to do. No. Ask questions that they get themselves to say the thing, right? They need to say it all the time. Even if you know the answer, they need to say it. And pause. I always tell everyone, like, pause. Take your time, right? Sit back, relax. Sit back, relax. Again, you don't need them, but they need you. So you just understand the problem at the deepest level, of course. That's truly understanding the problem. And once you do, this is a fact of like, yeah, look, you're going through a lot. So why not stay where you're at? Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because you've been dealing with this for 5 years. Surely you can go another 5 years. Yeah. Just slight push away. Just basically saying, no, like, I think you're fine. Right? Yeah. But they're not, of course, they know they're not. But they need to hear it time and time again. And they throughout the entire call, they are convincing themselves. That's what this whole call is. Highlighting the pain, seeing how much is impacting them, and ultimately convincing themselves verbally out that, yes, I know I need to change this now. Absolutely. So this is like, it's an important piece. This right here, this is so crucial. This is so crucial. A lot of people skip over this because it seems so simple, but in its nature, this is actually the thing that makes them make the decision now. It's not, I have to think about it. Okay, because again, people say that, right? Oh, I just need to think about it. You told me you can't do this another day. Okay, as long as you align the solution fine and they believe 100% that's the solution will fix their problem, then they won't think about it. Okay, or you can use this again in terms of like, yeah, look, I totally appreciate, you have to think about that. Again, objection handling framework. Apart from that, tie down to the process, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then deal with the objection. So, okay, so it is just that you need to think about it. Okay, cool. Well, you know, you want to take, how long do you want to take to think about it? 2 days. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? You should absolutely do that. Yeah. Yeah. Take, you know what? Take the week, actually. I think you should take the week. I'll wait for any response. I mean, yeah, like, you know, at the end of the day, this is your life. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this at all. But can I ask you a question, though? You know, just a few minutes ago, you told me this. You told me this is the reason why you had to do it right now. You told me that you could not do any more. And yet you're saying that you need to go think about it. Haven't you been thinking about this enough? You know, again, see what they say. Yeah, I get that. But again, this is why you said 100% you agreed in the process. You said that if you do this, then ultimately that would help you achieve this and achieve that. Again, the impact of overcoming the big thing that they said that it was that was in their life. Okay, health, wealth, relationships. And right there, people, that is how you get someone out of this I have to think about it state. Okay. Tell them to think about it. So I would say, again, agree with them. I would agree with them. Say yes, absolutely. You should go do that. But then you go back into exactly what they just told you. Okay. And there's always that thing of like, yeah, no, absolutely, go do that. Yeah, take more time. Take more time. Yeah. However, look, can I just ask you a question though? You told me this. So what's happening? Again, because they told you need to do it now. They told you 100% on the process. Okay. And again, just be real and be like, look, I'm here to help, but you know, I feel that something's off here. Something's not making sense to me. Right? You told me this, you told me this, you told me this. You don't have to do this. Just say no. Can you see what I'm doing, people? Right? You're telling them, just say no to me. Just say no. You don't have to do this. Okay? Again, it's this thing of like, push away. Push away. And the more you push away, again, you come off as someone who's actually really trying to help. Because again, you're not trying to, oh no, you must do this. This is exactly why you have to do it. Okay? So really, really important. That's it. Yeah, that's just to wrap up. So where do we go from here? Obviously, you're you know, summing up everything. That's cool. And of course, your pillars, right? The only thing I will mention about the pillars is this. I'm not going to go into pillars and formulating pillars. But of course, beautiful. Okay. Language. You know, when you mentioned this to me, that you're going for this problem, this problem, this problem. Okay. Well, that's why I'm going to take you through X pillar, and then explain the process. This should be like 1 or 2 sentences, very short. Okay, have confidence that if you can do your pitch in 30, 40 seconds, okay, on each pillar, sorry, not your pitch, 30, 40 seconds on each pillar, keep it nice, short, you know, clean. It's always going to be better because the real part that is going to get them is this. Yes, remember when you mentioned this problem? You didn't know how to eat, or you didn't know how to make habits. Explain the process. Okay. Well, this is where I show you, blah, blah, blah. Which means you finally get to feel more confident in bedroom with your husband. Which means that, again, this is the emotional thing. This is the emotional thing that they wanted, that you're now covering. And that's it. Okay. And then the motivation to buy, why is this the best way? So again, it's just like, look, again, you can use the things that they tried as an example, right? Always really, really good when you say, yeah. So again, like, you know, the reason why this is the best way is because before you've just been trying to force yourself to meal prep and, you know, have food on a daily basis that you don't really enjoy. So of course it's not sustainable. Instead, with this process, you're going to make sure that you enjoy the foods you like, incorporating it as part of your daily lifestyle. That's it. Bang, done. You don't have to explain more than that. Okay. People are like, and blah, 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 blah. And because of that, and you're really trying to convince them. It's just like, no, that's it. Short, clean. That's it. And of course, what questions do you have on that specifically? Okay. What question do you have specifically about this? Really, really clean. Really clean. Okay. That's it. That's it, guys. That's all it is. Okay, but I want you to appreciate with this. Before I go into that, any questions? Any questions in that piece? No questions. All good. All right. Awesome. In that case, yeah, as I said, you going back to this. Remember this. There is only one objection. They are uncertain. Everything I just went through, that's why they're uncertain, because you do not ask the right questions to unravel that uncertainty from the get-go. Okay, so at the end, okay, it's not about whether or not they should do it. Okay, it's just how to do it. Okay, the logistics. How do we make this happen then? Because they're going to be like, no, I really want this, right? And I've had two people like that. Okay, and they've had to go and be like, no, like I need to do this. And again, that's why they leave the deposit, because they're so convinced. They're so convinced that there are no uncertainties. That's why they happily leave a deposit, and they will happily then try and find the money. Again, you would have gone through all of that. I mentioned earlier in the session how you do those the financial objection handling process or frameworks, right? To disclose the whole finances. It's an open conversation. You need to just disclose that finances, because this is not if they want to do it. This is just how they can do it, right? Financially. That's all it is. And that's it, people. The important thing, again, I need the mindset shift for you lot. You're trying to find out any red flags to disqualify them. You on the call are the ones saying, no, you are not a good fit. So anything that you're unhappy with, again, do not move through the script, because you're like, no, I don't have it yet. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the severity of this. I'm not getting the pain. I'm not getting why now. I'm not getting it. It doesn't seem this like, just again, you've been through it for 5 years. You told me you've gone through all this, but are you sure? Are you sure like you want to change right now? Because you're not convincing me to be open and honest with you, right? You call it out. If that's how you feel, of course, right? On the call, if that's genuinely how you feel. But you are disqualifying them, okay? The whole process, the whole sales pipeline, right? That's what it is. Yes, you get leads, but the whole thing from the very beginning to who actually gets to talk to you on the phone is about disqualifying. Through the whole sales process, it is about disqualifying. You are trying to find out any reason why they shouldn't join you. That's the mentality I want you to have with sales. Okay, you're trying to see what is wrong and why they shouldn't join. And when you do that, you level yourself up. It's a powerful position to be in, very, very powerful, right? Because again, it's a push away. Okay, you're literally saying, like, yeah, don't do this. Again, tell them you don't have to do this. You don't. That's the truth. But let me just ask you a question. You told me this. You told me that. Blah, blah, blah. It's their words. So all you're doing is you're pitting their words against them. Okay. So again, this is the thing. This is why I say to everyone: do not tell them what to do. I don't like statements. I don't like, yes, you have to do this because you told me that you're going through this. No, it's like, let me ask you a question. You told me that you're going through this. You told me that this is the reason why you have to do it now. So what's going on? You're saying that you have to think about it. I'm lost. I don't get it. Again, you don't have to do this, by the way, right? You don't. We don't have to do this. You can just say no, right? Because I don't like that. Think about it. Okay. People, when they say think about it, it's like, no, just tell them. Just tell me no. It's absolutely fine. Like, you can say no. Like, just tell me no, right? It's cool. It's cool. Let me can I just ask a question, and then you go back into it. It's always just a reverse. You always go back in. Always go back in. Okay. Whew. That is it. How's that, people? Has that been clear? Is that making more sense for everyone? Thanks for this amazing session, Kevin. Def gonna watch again. Got to jump on another call. Great session. We'll repeat the replay for sure. Yep. Best Zoom ever. Question: when can we do this? This is a one-time thing that I've done. Okay, because I wanted to. Sales is very nuanced, right? And this takes practice, by the way. Right? Everything I just went through in this one session, there are so many variables and there's so many things. This is why we say listen back to your calls. Okay, right? because now with this, you should be able to listen back to the call and think, where's the red flag? Where is the red flag? Where did I miss it? Where's the red flag? Where is something where they said something and I just completely disregarded it? Again, like it happens. Time's a classic one, right? Again, they tell you that they have an event. Even just, again, if it was a Christmas period or whatever, Easter, any holidays, holiday seasons, kids, all this stuff, you have to start thinking ahead. And again, just, all right, putting those questions in there so that you can understand the situation in its entirety. But that's it. So again, the whole thing's prevention. You should never end up with someone saying that they have to think about it. It shouldn't. It can't, because of everything you take them through. It can't. The severity of that pain, right? How it impacts the whole thing, hence the value of what you provide. They're like, no, I get it. It is worth that much, right? Because it's so big. Everything I'm dealing with is so big. And of course, the why now, right? Why now is super important, okay? And when you have all of that, again, like, it really is the stupid zone. It's the stupidest zone ever of like, my life is shit, I'm in misery, and yet I need to think about it. It makes no sense. At the end of the day, again, if you knew you were going to die tomorrow, do you have to think about fixing that problem? Even if you knew you were going to die a month from now, but you knew the thing inside you needed to be operated on. Let me just think about it. I got some stuff going. I have a wedding first. I think I'll do this a bit later. Right? No. Why do you need to do it now? Fucking hell, you're gonna die. Okay? Like, so yeah, all good. Wait, some more in the chat. Any questions? Any questions in the whole thing? No? Okay. How's that been for you? What's the feedback on that? Let me know. How have your sales calls been in comparison? What have we learned openly? It's very good to discuss as well. What have we learned from this? What have we been doing that we now know, oh crap, I shouldn't have been doing that, or I have missed that? Because that's usually what this is. Anyone want to share?
I would say that the biggest one for me is just digging deeper and deeper into the layers of pain and just not letting it go, I guess, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Very important. Very important. It's just, again, dude, it's just like, especially, I would say the health one was actually where I learned it from, right? Because I had bought into like a fitness program before. And that was the thing, like how it would baffle me. And I was like, why would people pay like $3,000 to lose weight? And I just like, I wasn't getting it, right? When they started explaining everything, I was like, okay, right? It's how it relates to everything as well. And that's the powerful thing. But of course, for you, if you don't go into pain first, remember, for you, it's the emotional pain. Yes. But it's very important as well, especially if you want to charge higher prices, the impact of weight in their health, wealth, and relationships. You need to cover those bases, right? So that, again, when they see that at the end of the call, you mention the price, they're like, yeah. And it's going to make them uncomfortable. When you raise your prices even more and even more, it's going to make them more uncomfortable. But that's why you have even more pain now behind it all to back it up. And they're just going to be like, yeah, I need to do this, right? It should always be, I need to do this, always at the end of the call, for sure. Okay, so thanks for that, Brendan. But Brendan, that'd been good for you then, yeah? I know that for you, you were like, yeah?
Yeah. Every bit of this has helped me a ton. I'm going to be able to use it a lot. Cool. I'm excited for the next call.
Go get them. Yes. Anyone else want to share?
I'm so go on, you go.
So Jill, go ahead.
Thank you, Naomi. I do my first call tomorrow, so I've got 4 over the next 2 days. So I've been writing the script out, using the formula, using my words and my topic a bit. What I was so aware of was, as someone who's been a psychotherapist, I'm not going into it, and staying at that other level, because sometimes there's a bit of that thing of, but if they see what I can do, are they more likely to buy in? But it's really clarified for me today, and like where you started, that they need to understand the impact of the problem, or not the reasons for it at this point. And that was just really, really clear for me to keep that, to be able to keep that line. So that was amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Great distinction, Jill, because you're not the only one. Like, trust me, I've heard it, and a lot of coaches, I get it. We want to help people so much that on the call, even though we're asking questions and we're thinking, hey, we're not solving it, we're prying into things that are not relevant again. So yeah, no, it's a really key aspect of the sales process, and it's great that you got this early learning now then, because yeah, like, you know, I think you're gonna crush it then on these calls that you have booked in. So awesome distinctions for sure.
Thank you. Thanks, Naomi.
Naomi, go for you.
So Kevin, I think what I realize is on certain instances I do make statements. So I need to really stop that. So while I do touch on the impact and try to dig deep there, I've always tried to look at, okay, in terms of the pillars, okay, what are the key words? Are they mentioning those? Are they focusing on those kinds of things? So sometimes, like, I also then get distracted with it based on what they say. So I need to keep going back and digging deeper.
Yeah, and it's good. Like, again, like, you're doing the right things, and like for your pillars, absolutely, of course. Like, when you go into pain and all this, that's essential. That's an essential component to it all. However, yes, the other mistake, as I said, is that people make statements to them, and again, they don't need that. You need them to ask questions where it's kind of like, you know, you have a bucket of water, and with your questions, you know, you're just trying to unfill the bucket, right? So in other words, you're trying to poke holes into the bucket that the water can just, again, their mind, just the whole intention with your sales calls is actually that at the end of the call, they don't have anything else to think about. Okay, so that's key. Your questions help them unravel everything, right? Their doubts, anything. Even when it comes to, this is why with the pillars, they need to be short. It's not a big explanation. Even when they have, again, just like, this is really important actually, this is because I haven't actually covered this in what I went through, right? When they, again, I have mentioned this, but it's good to just mention and reiterate here. When they say things like, well, I don't know, like, is this going to really work for me, Naomi? What do most people go and do? Yeah, no, it is, because, you know, like, you've seen the client testimony, we have brilliant client testimonials, you know, I've been through it myself, so I can definitely help you. But again, that's a statement, okay? And the thing is, they have a doubt in themselves that something's in their mind, and we want to help clear their mind. And the only way you can do that is through questioning. So rather than, you know, trying to combat the thing, again, it's always useful for them to be like, for yourself to always be like, okay, well, I don't know. I mean, it's worked for me and it's worked for my other clients, but, you know, do you think it's going to work for you? Back on them. Okay, back on them.
One of the main things that I did come across a couple of clients was because of the burnout, they're in such a low state in terms of feeling unmotivated. So they doubt themselves as to whether they can actually go through the program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, that doubt or that the fact that they're unmotivated, somewhere early in the call, you need to pinpoint that. Okay, because they'll mention things about it, right? They won't just say at the end. Yeah. Unless we have the question at the very beginning. So again, you've noticed on the, well, whether it be time, say someone say they're unmotivated, okay? That's a red flag. I just felt really unmotivated. Oh, okay, you felt really unmotivated, right? So, okay, I appreciate you for sharing that with me. Let me ask you a question though, because if you're always unmotivated, how do you plan to get out of this then? So before the pitch, I'm already addressing it. Okay. And then have that discussion. And again, I don't know what they would reply, but whether they reply, again, I will not be happy until I've knocked it out, where they're like, no, you're right. Like, even regardless if I'm unmotivated, you know, I do need to do this. Yeah, whatever. Again, I don't know how that conversation would go, right? Because that when they say they're unmotivated, I don't even know what really that means. Okay, so again, my first question should actually be, oh, what do you mean by that? Okay, I just want to clarify, what do you mean by that? Okay, clarity on what unmotivated means to them specifically. Okay, and then if it relates into, yeah, I just, you know, I can't get on with my day and blah blah blah. It's just like, all right, okay, so, you know, if you can't get on with your day because you're feeling unmotivated, right? To overcome burnout, this requires work. Are you going to be unmotivated to do the work then? Okay, back on them. Clarify that. Yes, I am going to be unmotivated. No, it's like no. Like no, I like if it's to get better, I will. Cool, there, done. They said it. I can move on. All right, and even then, are you sure? Because it sounds like, you know, you've been going through this for a while. Then again, like, look, you've been doing this for what, 6 months, 8 months? You can just stay where you're at. No, I mean, it's not that bad. You feel unmotivated, but at least you're kind of safe at home, you know, right? Again, so I'm kind of like downplaying it, saying it's not that bad, right? But no, it is, and I need to do something about this. Yeah, well, how are you going to do that if you're unmotivated? And I would just hold it. Again, I don't know how. I'm making it up because I'm thinking of what I would reply if I was in that situation. But then I'm just going to go back and forth and just like, again, do not move forward until you get the answer you want. Okay, you are disqualifying them. That's the important thing here. Yeah. So again, when it comes back into that question of like, as I said, it's what you know, is this going to work for me? Okay. Well, yeah, sure. I mean, you know, I have my results, my client has their results, but you tell me, why do you think this is going to work for you? Then they will say it. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I did see your client testimonials, and honestly, when I saw your webinar as well, I thought, oh wow, this actually all makes sense. And I guess when I looked into and I'll be like, okay, what else? And when I looked into the training video, like, you know, I saw the level of support and, you know, what you do, and it seems like it's going to be, yeah, no, it seems like a good fit. Okay, and that's them telling me. I'm not telling them. Okay, but I open up with a question, which is, yeah, so, you know, yeah. Do you like, what was the question then? Not do you believe is this going to work for you? Is it going to work for me? Yeah, it's worked for me. It's worked for my other clients, right? So you tell me, like, is this going to work for you? Right? Do you believe it's going to work for you? Bang, just, I don't think that was the right phrasing. Do you believe it's going to work for you? How do you think this is? I forgot my own line. That's terrible. I'm pretty sure I use a specific phrasing that's not quite like this. I'm gonna have to watch the bloody replay. What was the word? I've forgotten the phrase. Is this gonna work for you? I have my thing. My clients have their wins. You tell me. Yeah, I think I said that right. You tell me. Is this gonna work for you? What makes you believe this is gonna work for you? That's it. Maybe that's a better question. Yeah. Whatever it is, I forgot what I said. You know, whatever. The specificity of it, it's just like, yeah. But again, it's always getting them to convince themselves, right? You are never the convincer, right? You are the one saying again, like, yeah, like, look, you don't have to do this. Oh, do you believe I can help you? Right? Sometimes it's a thing of like when they're in that thought, it's like, look, okay, look, if you don't do this, where does this leave you? Here. Okay. Well, look, if you come and work together with me, do you believe that you'll have a higher success of achieving the result? Yes. Okay. So do you believe that I can actually help you? Yes. Okay. Do you believe in the process 100%? Yes. Okay. So what do we have to think about then? Right? Tell me, what do you have to think about? Okay. So again, it's just when they keep on saying yes, 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 it's not going to make sense to them. They're going to be like, and it's fear. That's all it is. Okay. Again, the uncertainty. So again, I've always said this. In a call, it is your certainty over theirs. Look, I can help you. I know my process works, right? But the thing is, are you going to do the work to ensure that it works for you? Right? So again, when people ask, does this work? Look, I know my process works. It's worked for me. It's worked for my clients. The question here is, are you going to put in the work to make this process work for you? Are you? Yeah. Everything is questions. Everything's on them. Okay. Do not make statements. That's the key thing. That's it. That's it. All cool?
I have to
Have
go
you
and
have a question?
re-listen to the calls.
Pardon?
Now I have to go and re-listen to the calls in the morning. Well, it is morning actually.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. And
1:30.
yeah. And of course, when you listen to your call, you just see, oh, I didn't go deep enough. I just didn't go deep enough. There was a ton here, and I skipped it. I completely skipped it. I didn't even press into it. Nothing. Okay, so that's all good. Do you have a question? Because I see your little hand thing.
Yeah. Okay. Two little questions. One, when you were in the beginning, like a beginner coach, did you have the closer script written in some place where you could see it, so you can see your questions, or like or a sign next to your computer or something like that?
For me, it was on my screen. I always just had it on my screen. Yeah, so on my screen, and my notes are on my side, right?
Oh,
so because I just follow the script, but again, it's a fluid conversation, right? Because when they tell you stuff, again, it's a general framework what we give you, but again, it's just like you listen to stuff and you're looking for anything that they will say where you're like, oh, no, I need to know more about that, right? Because it's a flag, or I need to press into this because I know I need to derive some more pain. Okay, and that's it. So that's it. Just here, you read the line and then start making notes, and it's conversation. You're listening to them and just identifying, yep, right there. I want to know more about that. What do you mean about that specifically? How does that make you feel? Again, and that back and forth of questioning. Again, it's like, it takes practice. I'm not going to say it's easy. It takes practice. But as long as you just keep in your mind, ask questions and do not make statements, you get better at it a lot. Because the first thing that comes to your mind, oh, I can't tell them. I cannot say things to them. I just have to get questions that even pushes them away. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of reverse psychology with dark psychology.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of reverse. Yeah, it's more as well, because what happens is that this is the problem. This is why people feel salesy. Yeah, of course, because you're pushing things on them. Again, you're stating things. You're saying you should do this, right? And they need to come to that conclusion themselves. Hence, you ask questions, right? The more you just keep on asking questions, leaving it to questions only, just using what they've said, then you're going to be golden. Because again, the whole conversation then becomes then convincing themselves. Perfect. Nice. All right, guys. If there's that's that all good? Any further questions? All good? All right, guys. Again, sorry for the long. I knew it was gonna be a long one. 3 hours. Yeah. Let's go. But yeah, now you have this. Of course, you can listen to it on the replay for sure. If you want to just recap any of the points, right? But that's it. Go crush it. Okay, go crush it. And again, it's you disqualifying them. Don't forget that. You're running the show. You're trying to find every reason why they shouldn't join you. Very powerful. Okay. All right, guys, you take care, yeah? Go crush those sales calls. Go crush it. All right. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.